ask you again.
Who wants to be a superhero?
I do. Stan Lee has 10 new contestants who are bigger, better, and badder.
Rock on.
Go, go, go! Excelsior!
It's an all-new season of Who Wants to Be a Superhero. Premieres Thursday, July 26th at 9.
The world needs superheroes.
The phenomenon that punched through televisions last year.
Who are we?
Is back.
To save the day.
New heroes.
I'll drop you like a hot potato.
Bigger missions.
I'm ready to go fight some crime.
Yeah.
Nicer caves.
You guys look fantastic.
Heroes are born, but superheroes are created again.
Excelsior!
Who Wants to Be a Superhero premieres Thursday, July 26th at 9 on SyFy. This summer,
Heroes will be called upon.
it's an all-new season of Who Wants to Be a Superhero. Premieres Thursday, July 26th at 9.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dan. I am Parthenod, and I'll be your host for this evening. And today we're going to be talking about what? Who Wants to Be a Who Wants to Be a Superhero? Season number 2. So I want to first introduce you to a couple of my super friends that are going to be joining me for the evening. So first off, I want to introduce you to, because only she's first on my list, you know what I mean? I'm not playing favorites, but welcome, Braid. So hi, Braid.
Hello, how are you?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
Doing good. Quarantine.
Fabulous. Quarantine, I know. But I like your braids. They still look fabulous.
Thank you. Couldn't buy my color, but hey, we're going gray.
I like it. They're classic. They're timeless. They're fabulous.
Thank you, God.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's go ahead and introduce our next hero. Welcome. Hi, Gina. Hi, Gina. What are you up to?
Doing my laundry.
Always. I like it. You got your poster in the background.
Posters in the background.
No, I have mine hanging up in my hallway. So every time I walk by, I'm like, oh, yeah, that doesn't look like me. Not that I'm bitter. We'll get there. That's a different episode.
There. Yeah,
exactly. But while we're waiting, let's go ahead and meet our next hero and welcome Basura. Ding. Hi, Basura. How are you guys?
Hey, I'm good. Sitting on my bed.
Oh, yeah.
Excited about this.
I know. I like all the scars behind you. It looks great.
Woo! I always wear scarves on my head, so I have a lot of them.
Fabulous. I like it. See, it helps. We have a lot of comments already, just like hello. So we just want to, by the way, while you guys are commenting, we can actually show them on the screen something kind of like this, being like, hi, Braid. That's it. Something kind of like that. Or yay, Braid.
And
or, hi, Gina. Yay, Basura.
Hi.
So if you guys, by the way, have questions later and you want to make sure that we kind of answer them, type them in the chat window and we can always kind of pull them up on here and we can answer them and we'll have time for that at the breaks as well. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and introduce Whipsnap. Hi, Whipsnap.
Yay.
How are you?
Hi,
You got your whip? I didn't really think about it. I should have totally put on my armor guard. I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I know. It's fun. All right, and then finally joining us this evening is going to be a diffuser. Hi, diffuser. With the princess wave too. I like it. It's good. How you been? I can't. Oh no, you muted yourself. Nope, that's a you thing. All right, you have to hit the mute button down at the bottom on your screen. In the meantime,
thank you.
There he is.
there you go. I like it. And we have a how super to see y'all. I like it from Marnie. She's
Hi,
great.
Marnie.
Hi, Marnie. I know. Do you guys know Marnie too? She's wonderful. It's fun. And then we got a yay whip snap.
Yay!
And stuff. I know. It's great. Yeah. So we actually already have a question. So, and this one is from a YouTube. I know. Wait a minute. All right. Heidi says hi. Hi, Heidi. All right. So we have a question from April. Ready? Okay. I have a question about how you all decided to adopt your superhero status and what attracted you to the hero, and how are you similar in your Earth lives? It's like a big question. All right.
Nice.
I know. Braid, do you have a good answer for it?
Well, my character's backstory was a stay-at-home mom that got superpowers. So and then her braids, each color has a superpower. So that's how I connect. I was a stay-at-home mom for a while. I work at a school now. So that's where mine came from.
Nice. I like it. And we also have a good fun story.
Huh?
Anybody else have a fun story about
I
how
guess.
you get your superhero?
I guess I wanted to make my character somebody that was kind of poor and made costumes and weapons and tools out of trash. And part of the inspiration of my character was that a lot of people, no matter what it is that you want to do, you think that you need, oh, if I had a better sewing machine, I could make more costumes. If I had a bigger studio, I could make more stuff and more art. And I just think that I want to have more drive myself, and I want to inspire others to get out and do whatever. Like, if you didn't sew the best dress, if you didn't paint the best painting, at least you did it. Like, do things, make things, bring the creative power of yourself out. So that's what I'm trying to do for myself and inspire others to do. And it's not the biggest superpower, but it's something that, like April that asked the question, when I met her, she really inspired me. So it's mutual. Blah blah blah. That's my story.
That's wonderful. Well, when I met you, I instantly clicked with you because I was like, "Oh my god, I love your outfit!" And you're like, "Thanks." It's a bicycle tile and sewed together with dental floss. And I was like,
It was made out of trash. Yeah.
"I know, I loved it," but it felt like so genuine. So it was nice.
Oh, nice.
I know. All right. I guess we can actually. I have some other stuff to show, by the way. So before we actually start our own secondary premiere, by the way, do you know we actually started on Thursdays? So that's why I think it's kind of cool that we actually get to show it on Thursdays. So I was like,
Thursday.
You're right. You're right.
Thursday.
It was.
I know. It's not July, but it's pretty close. So kind of little sneak peeks. We actually had a red carpet premiere party that was in Los Angeles where Stan Lee was there, and we got to go watch the very first episode, and it was like a crazy experience. So I kind of wanted to show you guys some of the pictures from it. So I'll kind of slink us all to the one side. One of the funnest parts that I think it was the first place where I actually got to see our posters for our comic book covers. Do you guys remember this? When we were driving or walking by and we saw all of our posters and we stopped to take pictures. Now it looks like it's super cool on the side of a building, but that's really not what happened. Do you guys remember what happened? We had to move this big thing.
Yeah.
Trash can. This big dumpster was in the way, and I was like, nothing says superheroes like moving your own dumpster. Fine. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, it's super classy. But here's a couple other pictures from the actual event. So here is us looking all fancy and schmancy with one of our supervillains, who now we're friends with, apparently. So that is Dark to Dark. You guys will meet him later. Here's some of the producers from the show. Do you guys remember them?
Yes.
Yep.
Right?
Still in touch with Emily.
Nice.
Yep.
Wasn't her nickname The Grid? We actually gave...
That's right.
Yeah, because we gave all the producers and like the camera people their own superhero names by the end of it. And so she was doing everything in Excel, so we called her The Grid. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I know. Some of the cast from season 1 came over to the viewing party.
Yay.
Yeah, like Feedback and Fat Mama. I think Cell Phone Girl was there. Iron Enforcer was there and stuff like that. Here's Basura looking fabulous. Dr. Dark in the background stalking us. Here's another one from season 1 was Levity. So he was the one. Yeah, he's wonderful. What else did I get? This was after we had a few. Me and Hydrina were enjoying it. And then finally one last one of kind of all of us doing our super little pose. So that's kind of the fun thing for that one.
It was fun. It was really fun.
It was a good time. I always enjoyed it. Like, it was kind of crazy because, like, it seemed to kind of all happen in a whirlwind. And did you guys have your suits by then? Because I had to go pick mine up at the studio because they actually
I had to pick mine up at the studio as well.
Mine was at the studio.
Yeah. And I always thought that was kind of crazy because I'm like, what? But then we got to keep them, so I was okay with it. Oh no, we have a quick question, and it's from Nick. Nick says, "Isn't Levity the guy that did make it into the base?"
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
I know.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. I know. I connected with him because I watched. Did you guys watch season 1, by the way? Did you
Yes.
actually see him before we went on the show?
Yeah.
He was always prepared. I was super excited, and then he got voted down. I was like, what?
Yes.
And then I met him in real life, and he's super nice. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. But did you guys actually have premiere parties for yourself when you guys got home?
Yes.
Yeah? No.
I was on vacation in Mexico when it
Nice.
aired, and so I watched it in Mexico at a Carlos and Charlie's.
Oh. Did anybody recognize you? And you'll be like, aren't you that gringo?
Eventually, yeah, people started kind of catching on because we were screaming, and there was a group of us and everything.
Aw.
See, I think that's super fun, though. Like, that's just kind of cute.
They were like,
What was it? I want to show you guys a couple pictures from mine because I think mine was hilarious because I had it at my sister's house, but I set my costume up and like I had a poster there to take pictures with. People made T-shirts. We put like garage graphics up. One of my friends made me a cake.
That's
My friend Rebecca is a great cake maker, and so she made me like a little cake. The cooler part is my little light in the center lit up and changed colors.
Oh, wow.
Parthy, you're so extra.
I know.
Yes.
That's my superpower. You should know that by now.
I do. I do.
And then I had too many people, so I actually split them into 2 rooms. So I had to keep running back and forth between these 2 rooms. Yeah. And so it was kind of nutty. But yeah, so that was my premiere party. I asked you guys if you had any premiere party pictures. Nobody sent me anything.
I was at
from the premiere, the old one.
I know.
Yeah.
I put those in there too, but I had the premiere picture, so I was like, we'll be okay.
I was at San Diego Comic-Con.
Ooh,
And
that's cool.
the only way I could watch it was on one of those exercise cycle things with a screen. So I had to keep pedaling because we didn't have the cable in the hotel room or something. So I was watching the first episode as I was pedaling. No joke.
I love it.
Love
And then
it.
you're like, no, I really want to see it. I really.
Yes, we were like, oh, wow. That was the premiere.
I like it. It makes it more fun. We
Yes.
do have one more quick question, and then we probably should get started and watch the first part. And just so you guys at home know how this is going to work, is we're going to watch the first 2 sections, I guess you could say it. So like basically 2 commercial breaks worth, and all together. So it's going to be like 30 minutes. We'll stop for some breaks. Then we'll answer some questions if you guys have them. If you guys have them when you're watching it, feel free to type them in the comments, and we can always show those during the actual TV show, and we can answer them later as well. So we're gonna have some time. Then we'll finish up with episode 1, start episode 2, stop in the middle, episode 2 end, and then we'll kind of do a wrap up. And where are they now? Catching up with people, kind of a thing. So hopefully it will be a fun. All right. Anybody have anything else that you want to say before we get started?
Excelsior?
I like it. See, I know. Did you see, guys? I wore my Stan Lee shirt, so it's like.
I
Stan.
saw that.
I know, because it's like at least a little nod to him. So if he can't be here, he's kind of here with us in spirit. So that's kind of.
Yeah.
That's right.
I know. All right. Well, but I guess before we begin, enjoy it, everyone. Here is Who Wants to Be a Superhero Season 2, first episode. And I'm warning you now, it's a bit crazy. It's a bit ridiculous. And it's delightfully fun. All right, everybody, enjoy it. Here we go.
Soapy.
Right? And there we go.
Wherever there is chaos, mayhem, bad guys, there is now hope. Welcome to the adventure of a lifetime.
Let's go! Saving the world!
Welcome to Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
I'm looking for the person who has the heart and soul of a hero.
The show in which Stan Lee, the greatest comic book author of all time, searches for his next great superhero. One of these superheroes will receive a prize money can't buy.
Immortality. The winner will become a legend in a comic book, as an action figure, and in a movie.
Last year, Stan chose Feedback. And today, Feedback has his own hit comic book, and he was featured in a SyFy original movie.
Time for some feedback.
And now, the phenomenon returns.
Friggin' awesome.
I want to be a superhero.
Thousands from across the country vied for the opportunity.
It's showtime.
But only 10 made the final cut.
Oh my God!
The superhero hopefuls come from all walks of life.
Excuse me. Super burp.
They think they know what they're getting into.
I'm here to save the world. This is gonna be a piece of cake.
But they haven't got a clue. Because this year, the journey is more epic. The competition is more unpredictable.
So not cool.
Our secret identities are gone.
It's not kosher.
The stakes are even higher.
I'm mad.
I know I have bad self-confidence.
I miss you too.
And oh yeah, there's an unstoppable nemesis. Dr. Dark at your service.
Dr. Dork is more like it.
I'm not a dork.
Who will be victorious?
I'm on it.
Who will become immortal?
I want to be super forever.
Who wants to be a superhero? Starts now.
My name is Stan Lee, and my mission is to find the next great superhero. We went on an 11-city nationwide tour. From Phoenix to San Antonio to New York, thousands of everyday Americans came out to audition from coast to coast. We were the subject of countless news stories. Hey, we even got Jay Leno's attention.
We thought we'd send our own mild-mannered intern, Ross Matthews, down to cover auditions for the second season of Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
You know, if I didn't talk to you, Jay Leno would kill me.
On the road, many of the costumes were really impressive. But when it came to their powers, some were downright odd.
I am superhumanly annoying, sir.
Well, if you say so.
I have the physical abilities of a 6-foot ant.
For some, words failed to describe.
Excelsior!
Thousands grabbed their home video cameras and sent in their own tapes.
I'm adamant, man. I'm adamant about that.
Many thought the outrageous catchphrase would be their ticket to immortality.
Listen Max, baby.
Hold up! Cosmic bitch will kick you into a ditch.
Is that really necessary?
Some tried to outdo all others, making their own mini-movies with dazzling special effects. Others, not so much. Ultimately, I narrowed down my search to a select few that I needed to meet, and that meeting could only take place in my own secret headquarters. There we are.
Bam.
That was quite an entrance.
Hi!
Wow! What is your name?
My name is Radiance.
I am rapacious. I am delicious.
I'm fun!
Woo!
Basura.
Homeless man!
I am the great granny.
You have a catchphrase.
Who said diamonds are a girl's best friend?
Me love you long time.
Oh, well.
It's time to get electrified.
Whew. Did somebody order Mexican?
Bam, here I am. And there's Stanley.
And what exactly is your superpower?
Bam, and bam, bam.
I have the power to think that I am flying. Observe.
Well, that'll certainly put a villain on notice, I would think.
Thank you, floating head.
I'm Hygiena, fighting grime and crime.
I can live for a week without a head.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you want to be on the show?
I would love to be on the show because I think I'd be a great role model for children.
Well, I couldn't think of a better reason, actually.
I had a lot of curveballs thrown at me. You know, my living situations were not favorable.
I like to think of myself as a superhero first who just happens to be gay.
In the Lair, I would become to be known as the smart one.
I see.
People see me, people just underestimate me. They kind of think I'm a little ditzy, because I kind of act like it, but I'm so not.
Can't imagine. So I sent everyone home while I deliberated. Once I made my decision, I had the good news delivered by a true superhero. Feedback, last year's winner.
Stanley wants you to be a superhero. Congratulations!
I love you! Are you serious?
Yes! You can yell it to the world!
Oh my god!
And let's go! Hi, Gina! Stan Lee wants you to be a superhero! Here we go. Congratulations! Stan Lee wants you to be a superhero! Here we go. Stan Lee wants you to be a superhero!
Yeah! Oh my god, you're kidding! I am... All right!
You're the man, Stan!
Of course! I want to be a superhero!
Let's go! Congratulations, Stan Lee wants you to be a superhero.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Are you serious? Oh
This is gonna be a day you are gonna remember for the rest of your life.
Oh my God!
Hang on. Heroes! Welcome. This is the Lair.
Hyperstrike! I really think a superhero is a good vehicle for me and my talents, because I've got the acrobatics and martial arts going on. So being here it makes total sense.
Hooray! Before I was a stay-at-home mother, I worked for the CIA. I had top secret clearances, but now Braid's main focus is children. I will fight for children at all costs.
Hi, Gina! Being a homemaker, you get underestimated, but I found that people underestimating me can be one of my greatest strengths. I'm here to represent the underdogs, the grandmas, the teachers, mothers, but also me.
You're gonna be a superhero, and one of you will emerge victorious.
Mindset. Too many superheroes that you see are all about brute force and power blasts and different ways to blow things up. There aren't enough thinking heroes, and that's what I'm here to show.
Basura! I make all my own weapons out of things I found in the trash. Basura means trash in Spanish. Even my costume is all made out of trash.
Whip snap. I think you keep hope alive, and Stan Lee has kept my hope alive. And so it's just so many mixed emotions. I just never thought I'd be here.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
From this day forward, you're going to be held to a different standard.
Parthenon.
So Parthenon's favorite catchphrase is "Who says diamonds are a girl's best friend?" And beling's my thing.
But go in there and show the world, show Stan that you have what it takes to become his next great superhero.
Mr. Mitzvah.
My dad passed on to me a large fortune, which has enabled me to live the life of a billionaire and have anything that I dreamed of. But the only thing important to me is winning this contest.
It's my life. People get this ditzy image of me sometimes, but all through high school, all through college, I always got straight A's. So I know that my other superheroes will probably underestimate me, but I'm here to surprise them.
Comic books taught me a lot about how I viewed the world, and I chose to become a police officer because I thought it would be the closest thing to becoming a superhero.
Superheroes, I leave you to your lair. Excelsior!
Excelsior! This way, guys. Let's go, 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 go.
Same thing.
很臭吧？他们有水渗吧？应该洗个澡哎。
Oh! Wait, let's wait. Let's push the button.
Second floor, mission control, the lair and spa.
Very cool. This could be you.
It is me. I posed for it a month ago.
The superhero lair is just like I always imagined. It's so cool.
I'm 42 years old, people. Okay, I'm a stay-at-home housewife and mother, and this is a great adventure for me.
Nice. Look at this. Woo!
Money.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Hygiena, I thought we might be bumping heads.
It's clean, nice and clean.
Because I'm real messy, and she's real clean.
Could be booby trap. Leave it alone.
I can't peg Mr. Mitzvah.
Not so hard. Knock off my rhinestones.
Just seems a little kooky.
I'd keep a distance from the superheroes because I'm in the middle of a contest here. They want to think I'm a loner. They can think I'm a loner.
Oh!
This is incredible.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh my god!
Welcome to all you true believers.
What's up, Stan?
Welcome to what I'm sure will be the adventure of a lifetime. You're going to be tested in ways you never would have imagined. It's not about your physical prowess. It's about what you have in here. Things like honesty, integrity, and courage. And a word of warning, I'll be watching everything you do. One of you sitting before me will win this competition. That person will receive the greatest prize ever, immortality.
Yes! Yes!
I will immortalize your character in both a comic book written by me and as an action figure. You'll also be featured in a sci-fi original movie.
That's awesome.
So let's begin our journey together, and we'll... Hey, wait a minute. You can't be in here.
What was that?
Wait a minute. You can't be in here.
What's going on?
We should go save him.
We know where he was.
Greetings, heroes. Your boss is a little tied up right now.
Speak, villain. Who are you?
Silence! I'm talking. If you want to retrieve your little Stanley, you'll listen closely. Divided into 2 teams. Then, you'll need to go to the north and south aqueducts of the city's water plant. And I suggest you hurry before Stan gets a little wet behind the ears.
All right, heroes. Stan's been kidnapped. We could very well be walking into a trap. Now, I don't see that we have any choice but to play his game.
Right.
Should we just split the room?
2 teams.
We ready?
Yeah.
My team included Basura, Braid, Parthenon, Miss Limelight, and myself, Diffuser.
Heroes, we going?
Yeah.
My team consisted of myself, Mindset, Hygiena, Mr. Mitzvah, and Whipsnap.
Let's go! Let's go, Stan's waiting on us.
Go.
Must get into vehicle.
Nice. That was a good acceleration.
Doesn't look close.
Wait till I get my hands on it.
It stinks of evil.
Let's see who I'm up against. So, those are the teams they pick to challenge me. Excellent.
Like an aqueduct or a viaduct, I really don't know what kind of duct, but it was scary.
It's bad guy. Even if we're split in half, that's still 5 heroes together as one. I mean, I don't think he stands a chance.
We'll find them.
We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and I have to show my strengths and let them shine.
I'm here and I'm focused, and I will not go home easily.
Don't touch it.
Your precious Stanley is behind this wall of wind and water. To get to him, both teams will have to shut everything down. That means all the levers must be in the off position, and the valve must be fully closed. You will have 4 minutes to save him. The clock will stop only when you have completed the mission. The key to Stan's safety is right in front of you. Oh, and one more thing. If either team fails, your precious Stanley will have written his last comic book.
Oh, that was scary.
I was real nervous, but at the same time, I was real excited. You know, I knew that I'm a big target for the win.
I'm scared. I'm sick.
Set. Go.
Go, we gotta move.
The diffuser really took charge. He had us all linking arms at the beginning. That was intense. That was crazy.
We didn't even really talk about a strategy. We just put 2 and 2 together.
I was scared and I doubted myself that I could do it.
That valve was pretty difficult. I started to get winded.
Trudging up this thing, and we grab a hold of those levers, and one of us goes on to take the wheel.
I was hanging on to that lever for dear life.
I think the person that stepped up for our team would be the diffuser.
The water wasn't shutting off and we couldn't figure out why. But then we remembered there was something about a key.
Ah, right here. Right here.
There's a lock. Find the key. Impressive, but your friends are lagging behind.
The wind in the water is so ferocious.
We finally pulled the lever shut. The fan didn't shut off. The water didn't stop. We couldn't even hear each other.
We had to figure out what was it that we were missing. The key.
He makes up the key on the cart. Oh my God!
I took initiative to go get the key. When the wind pushed me, my knee popped.
Oh my goodness. I was having problems because I couldn't see anything. I was scared.
I gotta get this key. My team is depending on me. I could not let them down.
Whip Snap got the key, came back, handed it off to me.
Parthenon and I, we kept slipping, but he helped me and we were able to get back.
Awesome! Good job, team! Good for you, superheroes. But Santa's still in jeopardy because your friends on the red team are struggling. You failed, and your love Stanley is history.
We didn't save him? Oh my God.
You failed, and your love Stanley is history. And you have the red team to thank for it. Time to say goodbye to your precious Stanley. I'll let you do that right now. You might be closer than you think. In fact,
I am. I staged my own kidnapping because I wanted to send you a message. You are going to be constantly tested, and like true superheroes, you must never take anything for granted.
Great test.
Now head back to the lair, get some rest, and I'll see you in the morning.
Back to the lab, heroes! Let's go.
I fell, and to me, that cost the team vital time that we needed to win this mission.
So did Stan pull one over on us or what?
I know.
Where's Whip Snap?
Whip Snap!
Where did Whip go?
I let Stan down, and I knew it. I failed him. I failed myself.
Whip! Why do you want to be by yourself?
I just feel like a failure. I let my family down.
How strong did you have to be just to get to where we are today? You ain't got nothing to be worried about. We're gonna stop the tears. We're gonna go back in there. Come on.
All right, everybody, link up.
All right.
Who are we?
Heroes!
Who are we? Yeah! Excelsior!
But it's nice because we're all sleeping together. I love that because it's like I don't like to sleep by myself, you know?
How old are you?
18.
My wife, I am 20 years older this year. I have a 15-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 22-year-old.
No way.
Wow.
Children?
I do feel a kinship to Limelight. It takes a lot of courage to step up, especially at that age.
Good night, people.
Good night.
Good night, user.
Superheroes, I've just learned there's been a robbery at a warehouse. You need to talk to the owner, Mr. Long. Each of you will have 2 minutes to question him and get as much information as possible. You'll be judged on who accomplishes the task in the most super-heroic fashion. Good luck.
Let's go, heroes. So what happened?
Imported antique vase. I was
Okay.
storing from our warehouse.
Okay, and it was right here?
What you have in the pocket?
My pen. I see some clues are laying around. What about this chain?
Can I have this ball?
No, sir. Those are quite dangerous. The objective was getting information, but Mr. Long seemed very distracted and, in fact, very evasive. Sir, what are you more concerned with, my gadgets or finding your vase?
I'm interested in you.
So you're not that concerned about your vase?
How come you yelling at me? What's your real name?
Oh, no, I'm just Miss Lima. I'm here to help you because I just gotta figure out the whole thing and then I can help you and I can help
Where
you
you
because
come from? Where you come from?
I was unbelievably intimidated by this challenge. No joke. Trust me, I'm a good person. I'm so serious because this is not good. Do you know what time someone breaks in?
Oh yeah, times this morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Who was it? Probably my employee. He don't come this today. Maybe
What was his name?
Whoa. How come he have light?
That's where I get my powers from. What was actually stolen?
$1,000.
No, thank you, though.
What was stolen?
$2,000.
No, thank you.
Give you 5,000. What power you have?
Martial arts.
Yes, so cool.
Thank you.
What's your real name?
Can't tell you that. So let's get back to the vases, though, huh?
I have, just divorced wife, right?
That's a good lead. That's the kind of stuff you should tell us, things like that.
Your time's up. I'm interested in your clothes.
I'll tell you about my costume later. Trying to help
Looks sexy.
you. Thank you. Mr. Long was kind of weird. He really made me feel more like an object than a superhero. I tried to help to the best of my ability. Someone took something from you?
Hand vase lost. Yeah.
So did you find anything else strange?
Well, your time's up. You coming to clean up?
No, I'm here to help you recover what was stolen. Who broke in, sir?
What is it?
I can help you with this. This is a weapon. But I need you to tell me, sir, who broke in and when they broke in.
What is it?
I'm a superhero. Do you have cameras set up in here, sir?
Yes, over there and over here.
Is there a way to look at that footage?
Time's up. That's crazy hair, huh?
It's wonderful braid power hair. My hair can tentacle out and I can zip line up the roof. Together, united means power. My hair has powers. I also have my death whip, which if it's not a person, I will kill them and disintegrate them.
Time's up.
What was stolen?
Antique vase.
Show me one. You have 9 million boxes here. Show me one.
Already took it. May I have your name?
No. I'm to help you. You're not here to help me.
Don't yell at me,
I'm not yelling. I'm trying to help you, and I have very little time. Where did they come from?
Taiwan.
No, not you.
Mr. Long is completely crazy.
Oy vey.
You can see they have not cut.
Okay, so they went out this way.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Now you're being helpful.
Were you set off with an alarm?
Yeah, but an employee didn't show up this morning.
Oh, so you think it was an inside job, huh?
Could you show me your waist name?
Show my whips? Yes, it's right here. That's my whip.
How does it work?
Once I find this, I will do whatever you want with the whip. Definitely.
It's last night my wife we were fighting. I don't know. Maybe he come here to steal my vase.
Your wife and you were fighting.
But you're on your chest. How does it work?
How do I walk?
Yes.
It's really quite simple. I can simply move back and forth. But what's important right now is that we figure out what happened to your vase, was it?
Your arm is made in Taiwan?
No. This armor was made in the future.
Your time's up.
Oh, so these were the pallets.
Time's up.
Okay.
Superheroes, over here. Well done. As you've all probably guessed, there was more to this than just a stolen vase. This was a secret test. Remember, I am always testing you. Always. This wasn't only about how much information you could extract from Mr. Long, but more importantly, it was about, while under pressure, how much you would reveal about yourselves. Some of you did better than others. Now, get back to the lair, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Let's move, hero. Let's go. Go.
go. We got Jack. Look over every inch of both cars. My team here. Who's checked for car keys?
And bark! All right, everybody. So that was I know. That was the first part of episode number 1. Did you guys like watching it again?
Yes.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's been a while.
I don't think I've watched it for like maybe 9 years or so. Like 9 or 10 years. It's been quite a long time for me. So when I was trying to cut into different sections, I kept laughing because I'm like, oh my. My favorite is one of those is Mitzvah, because I put the little comment up because Craig said it on there too. He's like, where is it from? Taiwan. No, not you. Where the vase is from?
I love Hygiena's face when they said that we failed. She was like, oh my God.
They don't stand.
Right. I love that. And I loved Mindsets. How do I walk? Why, it's really quite simple.
Yes.
Because if you met Mindset, that is totally an answer he would give you. Like 1,000%, it is hilarious. It's just, yep, it's entertaining. So we did actually get a couple questions during the first section. So I kind of wanted to go back and answer them. So I'm going to start by scrolling because it's a long time ago and I'm like, ah! But I know it's for Hygiena. Up, here we go.
Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So Autumn says, Hygiena, you are the hero we need during the COVID craziness. What advice can you give us besides not to inject ourselves with bleach?
Hi, Autumn. Autumn is a friend of mine. Our children, we're going to school together now. We're at home with our children. Advice? Oh boy. I think give yourself a break. You can't do it all. Even I can't do it all.
I don't think anybody can. Superpowers or no, it's like, well, I would agree. That and wash your hands. Dang.
Yeah.
And
Wash
wear a
your
mask.
hands. And wear a mask. Yes.
Yeah. When that first came out, I was like, do we get to wear masks? And I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, oh.
You brought out all your superhero masks. No, wrong.
I know. I was like, that's not what they meant at all. But yeah, that'd be good. We also have another question actually for Hygiena. Nick wants to know, did feedback really break into your house?
Did he really break into my house? Well, no, he didn't break in, but it was a surprise and it was set up. And we didn't really go through the microwave. That was a little bit of special effect.
What? Some craziness right there.
But it was really cool to have Matt feedback in our house. And now he actually plays on a D&D game every week online with my husband, Mark, since the show.
It's crazy how people stay connected and you're like, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Please tell Mark in my microwave. He's sitting right here. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
He's waving.
Hi, Mark.
Mark is Hygiena's husband, by the way.
Yes.
I'll fill in the blank for those people. Okay. Yes, we got a couple questions all about the Lair. So
yes.
Heidi, who actually helped me with my costume, by the way, because she's a fabulous seamstress, she said, do we really stay there or do we get to stay in hotel rooms? Who wants to take that one? Yes, I was hoping you would do it. Yes, because there's actually one for you right now.
But I didn't fit on that bed they gave us. Y'all remember when I slept?
That's because it was a twin bed. It was a twin bed.
You're pretty big guys, so you needed a bigger bed.
It was like a short twin bed.
So I would take the mattress and take the cushions off the couch and made myself a pallet every night in that living room area. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I remember I was next to you.
And, so yeah, we were there and we had to cook our own meals.
Yeah.
Yep.
And design who cooked and who cleaned, and Mitzvah never cleaned.
Can you really say you're shocked with that though?
Yeah.
So
but
I
we
brought...
did live there and slept there, and there was only 2 showers. I mean, 2 bathrooms. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah. In the tub.
There was like 10 of us and only two bathrooms.
And one bathroom was weird.
Yes, the one bathroom was in the open.
It was connected to the bedroom. It was literally like a bedroom and then a step up and an open bathroom with like an open shower, like with just a curtain, and you're like an open thing, and I'm like,
that's exactly what it was.
And there was cameras.
Like, I ain't using that one.
Yeah,
right.
There were cameras all the time. There were cameras everywhere. Yeah.
Did you guys leave your microphone on all the time though?
Except the bathroom.
I did too. I turned mine off because I kept doing it. Anytime I went anywhere, I was like, click. And then the audio person would come up to me and they're like, do you know your microphone's not working? And I'm like, no, I turned it off. And they're like, what?
Yeah, turn it off when you're in the shower in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Your microphone needs to be off.
So we do have a couple more questions about the Lair. April wants to know, did anyone snore? And we hope we had foam mattresses. No, they were horrible. And does anybody snore in the Lair?
There were snoring people, and I brought a 20-pack of earplugs to share with everybody.
Yep. I had earplugs too because I sleep horribly. Like, I am not a good sleeper, and I needed them because I was like,
Mindset snored. I simply breathed loudly.
Okay.
This is me giving you some eyes.
I wasn't going to call anyone out, but there was some
I
eyes.
slept beside you, diffuser. You snore, baby.
My girlfriend Deanna's over here going, he snores.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like Darth Vader combined with a dog, like.
Plus, you're literally like in a room covered with cameras. And you have cameras in the ceiling, and like you're always being watched. And you're like, it's 10 of us, 10 little beds, like in one room with an open space, and it was just like it was unusual. And that dog.
Hey.
I'm sure that's the dog that's going to be coming up in a minute. Too. I know. This person said this. Wait, you guys are heroes for only having 2 bathrooms. Yeah.
Right?
We really only had 1. It was crazy.
Yeah,
So,
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the Lair, by the way, when you first walked into it? Do you guys have any like impressions or anything of it?
I thought it was pretty. Colors. Bright colors.
Cool.
Oh, that's my dog. Bright colors.
Yep.
And I like their names over our beds.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. Like, I was super excited because I watched season 1, and so I could not wait to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
And the elevator was so cool because, like, the elevator is a big freight elevator. We didn't always get to take it, though, because there were stairs, unfortunately. But
So a buddy of mine named Nathan Friesen, who also auditioned for the show about 3 or 4 years ago, was in LA doing something, and he hunted around LA till he could find the Lair. He also found the park. You remember the park we filmed?
Yeah.
He found the Lair in the park, and he was so proud of himself.
Nice. I could probably drive there because most of the times when we got in the super vehicles, it was probably me and Diffuser driving almost always.
Yeah. There's been a lot of reality shows filmed there since, and I can tell and see. Yeah.
Yeah, every now and again, I'm like, oh my God, that's the window from the kitchen. And I'm like, Pop-Tarts
don't
there.
want to ruin the illusion for anyone.
Illusion. I know. The first thing I did, because did you guys know that I was taking like diary notes during it? So like at night, I would write out like pages and stuff. And like the first thing I ever did, wait a minute, I flipped the page too much, was literally I drew a map of the Lair, where everything was.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I was just like, I need to know this. And like, I sketched all of the different pictures, like on the walls. I sketched pictures on the walls because I wanted to remember what they were. And I was like, yep, I was super excited. So it was good.
I want to
tell
the viewers at home, we did not have access to a computer. We did not have our cell phones or like any telephones at all. It was
TV or books.
There was no outside world except the cracks in the floor because we could see people underneath us and we would like watch them through the cracks in the floor. So that was about it. There was
We'd listen.
no TV, no internet.
Yeah. So, Whipsnap, can we talk now for a minute?
Yes. Go.
Do you want me to do it?
Please.
All right. So a lot of people always ask like why Whipsnap was so upset during that one scene. And this actually goes directly in what we're talking about. So no computers, no phones. So this most people don't actually know because I didn't know. And she just told me the other day. And so I was like, what? You've got to tell people. Because what happened was her phone was broken. And so it was hard to shut off. And so one of the PAs was walking by and saw it on and actually read some of the text messages, and they were not good. And and so they actually brought her phone, and she got to see some not like good text messages for like home stuff. So, and do you want to talk about it, or you want me to continue? You want to?
Continue. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, the PA was very friendly. Wasn't supposed to do this because again, the phones and things were confiscated, and so in the process of them trying to turn it off, they were able to read the text and came to me and said, "I think you need to." And I'm thinking, oh, you want me to turn it off? and said, no, I think you need to take this. And so upon that, my grandfather had just passed while I was on the show. And so I couldn't tell because obviously confidentiality. And I didn't want to get the PA involved. I was really, I couldn't thank them enough. And so in this whole process, I'm thinking, I'm a grown person running around town in tights, and my grandfather has passed.
Yeah.
What do? I felt guilty. And the mics are on 24/7. I had no time to myself. We had one bathroom. So when I let you guys down, I felt like I let my grandfather down. And the only way I couldn't, to me, I was heroic because what kept me there was Stan Lee, who picked me. And this was so pivotal in my journey because I was always in the background as a person. And you guys, you were there auditions, thousands of people auditioned. He chose me. So when that happened, I was torn. And Stan Lee did become aware of it. He didn't say, he just told me, Paula, in order to be heroic, you have to be able to control what you can control and handle that. And at that moment, I decided to stay.
Which I think is heroic.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big thing that you had to deal with and by yourself, which was crazy. Like, none of us knew. None of us had any idea. Like, I only know because you told me yesterday. That was literally it. And I was like, what?
I just thought you guys should know. And I told myself quickly that if I ever got the opportunity, I would possibly, reveal this. And 13 years passed, and it was possibly going to be a third season. So I didn't want to bring this up because, again, I made a vow to be quiet. And but that's why. So through the rest of the show, if you see me emotional, I know I probably acted as a sidekick, and I was pissed off. But just know that that's what behind the tears and emotions are.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff is always editing as well. Like, so a lot of people have to realize that this is a reality TV show, but it's also like a reality TV show? Said with as much inflection as I can possibly muster with a what? So, like, it's kind of nutty. And I would agree, like, that to go through by yourself in a weird situation with nobody that you know, and, like, it's just crazy. And people are agreeing, by the way, in the comments. Like, Mary Beth says that's amazingly brave to go through. And
thank you, Mary Beth. I see that. Thank you. Thank you, April.
Everybody, like, everybody is, so it's kind of like everybody's there for you. And, like, I wish I would have known because you would have got the biggest hug for me ever. You know what I mean? We could have went through it. Right. But instead, what did we do? Do you remember what we did that day?
Me?
Yeah.
No, what? Tell me.
It was never on the show, but me, you, and Braid actually went to the hair salon.
Hair salon.
Yeah, that's right. My hair. You don't mess with black people hair. With water.
That's why I thought it was hilarious because, like, literally, because we all got soaking wet. Like, I kind of want to talk about the challenge really quick because that challenge was no joke. Like, ridiculous.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They set the bar really high, and then the others.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Because I was used to season 1 where, like, what challenge was go to the Mexican place and don't reveal your superhero identity. I can do that. I'm going to order nachos and call it a day. You know what I mean? This is like episode 1, first thing off the bus, and now
a hurricane.
It was a hurricane. Like the wind was, you couldn't even walk in the wind.
No.
It was more like being in a hurricane.
The
and the water.
Plastic and coated in soap.
It was because they had these
slippery.
giant, like, hurricane fans, and, like, they were spinning around, spitting water at you. Everything was slippery because they had mats on the floor
and baby shampoo. They were squirting something.
Yeah, no, it was cooking oil. I thought it was cooking oil that they put.
It was very slippery. They wanted it to be slippery.
Yeah.
And it was just nutty because we were running, and thank God for diffuser. I give you all the props in the world for that linking arms. And literally, I wrote it in my diary, and I'm like, thank God for diffuser because because I made my own shoes because I got the flip-flops. Yeah. And then I just sewed together elastic straps to make it look like a Roman sandal. They had no tread on them whatsoever. So I was trying to run and I was getting nowhere.
And Limelight was in heels.
Yeah, heels with also traction because with no traction because her boots were like cheap. And like she bought them at the gift shop or whatever it was. And it was like, what?
I think Diffuser and I had the best
I was
shoes.
just kind of looking down at your shoes. I'm in tactical boots.
Me too.
Y'all going, oh, we are screwed.
Exactly. But that's why I could not oh, thank God. When you said let's link arms. And I'm like, yes. And then they cut to that one scene with me helping Limelight because literally we were flopping around.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, we eventually got up there and then we kind of made it work. But I was like, good Lord. But it was crazy. It set the bar really high for those challenges after that. So I was like, what do you guys think about it? Any other thoughts? Was anybody surprised? I know.
I was surprised.
You were too? Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, like you said, maybe even a little fakey. Then we got out there and they turned the hoses on. I was like, what am I doing?
God, it was crazy.
Yeah. High five Diffuser because I was so glad I brought my tactical boots too. I was like, these are my super boots. Non-slip.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that the fans blurted out the cursing that I was doing. I mean, I said every explicit that I could. Yes, I was pissed. Yes.
Yeah, it was crazy. But
angry black woman.
So the funny thing is, Whipsnap's hair got messed up, and so she's like, I need to go to the salon. So we went to this hair store place.
We went to
beauty supply.
And the only people they took was me, Braid, and Whipsnap. And I was like, I don't know why I'm going, but I'm gonna go because I just wanted to get out of the lair. Look at your little one. And everybody Diffuser is totally stealing it. Wait a minute, I'm gonna do this for a second. So everybody say hi.
Hi.
This is Jeremiah, a superhero in training.
He's a little web
Jeremiah. Oh, how lovely.
So cute. I love it. But yeah, so they took us to the hair salon thing. We went back and then we got back and I was like, I thought they were going to show it on TV, but they never did anything because the people in the store thought we were crazy.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was a crazy trip.
Yeah. Here, this comment is hilarious. Parthian with pretty shoes, not functional.
Mary Beth knows you.
Yeah.
She does indeed. So we do have another quick question too. All right. So Heidi wants to know, was it done at the same time or was there only one set? Who wants to be the secret breaker for that one?
One set.
One.
Yeah. One. It was one, and then they did it at separate times. I can't remember who went first. Do you guys remember?
I don't know.
I really
don't remember either. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, but we took turns, and then basically whoever came back was super drenched when we got back to the car, and we're like, what is that? And then we kind of, it was nutty. So it was kind of
like your shoes are squishy and your hair was it was disgusting. I was glad they did that on the first challenge because our costumes were ruined.
Yeah, well, wait for that. Hi, Gina, I was going to go to you. Bring your daughter back. You can introduce her too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
This is Ella. Hi.
Yay.
If you guys, she's been commenting for you guys in the chat.
She's on my Facebook and she's 9. And she just recently watched the whole series for the first time.
Really? Awesome.
Yay. Yeah, but we're watching here, right? And she got put on a costume and everything because that's my daughter.
You guys have the same cute
resemblance.
Right? We have to talk about her eventually, but we'll get there maybe in a couple of more episodes because I'm like,
yeah, story.
I like it. Everybody, by the way, in the comments is saying hi, Ella.
Everyone's saying hi, Ella.
Ooh, and they said she's a great Irish dancer too. So there you go.
Asked if anyone really got hurt, and Whipsnap really got hurt.
Oh,
she really got hurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
a real injury.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Priscilla. And also too, regarding that, my inhaler. You guys know I have asthma. I still have asthma. So they thought because my inhaler was red that it was fake because it's like, oh, her inhaler matches her cape and it's not real. Oh, it was real. I was having asthma attacks.
You were just accessorizing.
Yes. So yeah, it's true. But yeah, you get injured.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
good.
I know.
I'm surprised not more injuries happened on that one because everybody was slipping and
I fell multiple times, so I don't know. I never got to the final thing, and I was like,
I wonder if they just kind of were like let's see what's happening.
They signed a waiver.
And they have all of these on the fly little interviews, in all these reality shows that capture what just happened. And we weren't supposed to talk to each other. We were only supposed to talk to the camera to get a real reaction. So I had these false eyelashes and they were like hanging. All I could think about was my eyelashes are blown off.
They tell you, look, before you get on camera, let's, nothing.
But they were just like, let's get a reaction. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
How many times did they tell us not to talk to each other?
Oh my
God.
I lost count.
I'm in a van.
Right?
I found a way around that.
How? Oh, wait, didn't we do it together? We were talking to the producers, but really talking to each other?
A few times. Like, I found a way around that on the show. There would be, let's say 2 people are talking. Like, if one person's upset, one person wants to talk about home, one person said, maybe 2 of us were in an episode and we had a little scuffle and we want to talk about it and work it out. There had to be a 3rd person there saying brand names and like DC superheroes, because this was
that was Hyperstrike.
Nothing against Stan and Marvel, but we'd be saying other superhero names and brand names. So they couldn't put on the show.
Pop-Tarts.
Like Batman, Pop-Tarts, McDonald's, Wendy's.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always ways around things, but
And we did that too.
I know.
So
it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go back a little bit too really fast and show some of the pictures from the audition, because it kind of goes really fast in here. But I think some of the pictures are hilarious. So let me give me 1 second to pull it up. But do you guys have any stories about the auditions? Anything you want to share?
It was mine was at Universal Studios, like the Universal City Walk, and it was big. And I remember thinking, you know what? I'm just gonna go be a superhero for a day and just have fun and go home. And I told Mark, I'm like, oh yeah, Stanley interviewed me, and he was like, what? And yeah, so that's kind of where it started, the whole journey, right?
Yeah. That one, I actually think you're in the Tonight Show clip, by the way.
Yeah.
So I kind of put the little thing on the scrolling on the bottom, but we're actually going to show the whole Tonight Show segment next week, because I have that on tape as well. So it'll be kind of fun. Because I know you're on it. I think Basura's on it. And I don't know. Whipsnap, are you on that one or you're not?
No, he bypassed me to get to Basura.
Yeah.
So which is great. I would have too.
I mean, in that outfit.
Mine was a mail-in submission with backstory.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a video that I sent in to.
Yep. Mine was actually a mail-in for season 1. So I got to them right at the end of their casting sessions, and so then they couldn't do me in time, and so they're like, whatever. And they called me for season 2, and they're like, hey, are you still interested in this? And I was like, yes, go ahead and tell me more.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's kind
I
of
was accused of cheating during my audition.
What?
Why?
Wow.
Because I got there early and walked around, and we were piggybacking on some interviews with some wrestling tour.
Oh, yeah.
And I got there early and handed out a couple of hundred, because there was a ton of kids. It was at a mall in San Antonio, and there were a ton of kids. So I handed out like 200 police pal stickers to all these kids and asked them, I said, if you can tell me the number to call when you need the police or the firemen or the EMS, what's the number? And they'd all say 911. I'd say, all right, I give them a sticker.
You're like, and good.
I did that. So by the time I got up on stage, about 150 kids already had seen me and talked to me. So I started chanting, what's that number you're supposed to call? And they're like, 911. And I'm like, 375? They're like, no, 911. So I was told that wasn't fair.
See, I think that's adorable. So I say yes.
You're a real life hero.
Yeah.
That's
I was introduced by the Enforcer. Is that
Iron Enforcer.
Security Club, Club Mood at the time, and he came in and said, "Oh, they just wrapped up season 1. You would have been great." I'm like, "Really?" And he said, "Try out for season 2." Next year came around. He's like, "Paula, you got to try out." I'm like, "Okay." Cool. So that's how I was introduced to that.
See, that's super fun.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, most of us actually met each other at the LA callbacks. right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so here are some pictures from that. So what happened was we kind of all had to audition in separate places. Then once you get to the chosen, I think it was top 20. Is that sort of correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we all got flown to LA and then put in the hotel and then kept separate. And then we all got to kind of hang out a little bit. Now, the funny thing is, they never said we couldn't use our phones. They never said we couldn't take pictures. And they didn't give us any kind of guidelines whatsoever until the very last day and the last hour. And they said, what are you guys doing? Put your phones away. And we're like, okay. Right? But by then, I had almost everybody's contact information. Like, I had Mitzvah's real name. And I had, like, so during the show, like, I already know who he was and, like, all the backstory and stuff. And, like, Crystal and I were friends, and we were like, ta-da! So it was hilarious. So we were kind of like, whatever. But here's some of the pictures from that thing. So the auditions actually themselves were at Sunset Gower. So it's actually like a working studio, and it was like super cool, and they had stuff on the sets, and I have a picture of that just in kind of 1 minute as well about how cool it was. So give me a minute. But they actually drove us around in cars of 3 usually, right? And then we stopped because they were showing us around because the person that we were dealing with, like our driver for the day, was super nice. So I'm like, oh my God, wait, there's the La Brea Tar Pits, pull over. And he did. And so here's a picture of me, Hyperstrike, and another guy that was auditioning in front of the La Brea Tar Pits.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and by the way, this guy who auditioned, his name was CPA because he was an accountant, but he was a certified public ass kicker. That was his name. Right.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember him. So at the auditions, we also met her. Do you remember Sartan? Her secret power was like a frying pan of doom, right? And sitting on the couch right next to her, look. That's but back then he was known as Peace Man, right?
Right.
You know what we should probably do is talk about our other names real quick too. But so while I was sitting in the lobby waiting, because when you're waiting for this kind of stuff, you're waiting in the lobby and you have to get interviewed by a psychologist to make sure you're not crazy before you go on anything else, right? So I'm waiting there and he walked by, but some of the stars from Heroes. Do you guys remember that show from forever ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I stalked them, and I waited for them to come back from their lunch, and I got a picture with them. So 2 people from it.
Cool.
I was such a big fan of the show, and I'm like, oh my God. And then they didn't tell me I couldn't take pictures, and the security guard actually took the picture for me. So I was like, yeah, it's fine. Right? So here's some other pictures. So here's Trish sitting in the chair with 2 other people. Right? Do you guys remember Radiance, by the way?
Yeah. I remember seeing her.
Yeah. So the weird thing is nobody knew she was trans at the time, and it never came out anywhere or anything about it. And I waited for that to come out because I thought it was such a big thing for like the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
And it never came out. And I was like, damn it. But yeah, so she was one of the first trans people on TV.
Did y'all ever notice there that there were almost 3 types of each hero?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to see mine?
3 buff dudes.
Yeah.
There was 3 of everything. I should send you a picture of my other 2 counterparts. And we're almost identical.
We all had those. So I was kind of like, woo. But yeah, so, one person said, you're auditioning for reality TV shows portraying superheroes. Crazy is the job title. That is correct.
Good call, Heather.
You are correct. But yeah, so this guy was actually auditioning, and he walked in, and I'm like, well, damn, I have no chance. Thorn! I want to know what happened to this guy, because he was actually almost on the show. I believe it. But do you guys remember him? Because it was him, Mindset, and, a 3rd person. But the fans had to vote for them on SyFy.com. And so he was almost on the show with us. So I was like, Thorn! Yep. And then we had, Recharge, and this is me and Braid in our normal clothes.
Yeah.
Ting. Yep. There's Diffuser, looking all cool. Yep.
I was Takedown. That was
Takedown.
Takedown.
Right? Braid. There's Whip Snap, looking fabulous.
Yeah.
Do you remember one of the first things you said to me, Whip Snap?
Tell me.
You said, oh, girl, you need some lotion for those knees because you ashy. And then she gave me lotion because I had little short shorts on, and she's like, you need to fix those knees. And I was like,
I said that?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then you gave me lotion. So I don't know how you had it, but I was like, And then there was me during the audition in one of my first pieces, so it makes it fun.
We like that.
I love
That's
your
one of my
costume.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think I got on because I wasn't wearing pants in my audition video. It's like little speedos. But thank God, did you guys notice in the challenge I was actually wearing pants at that point? So I was like,
Yes.
oh, whew, shorts.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see if we got the studios where you were at was Gower. Doesn't really exist anymore. I didn't know that. We have a question from Marty. Was Homeless Man an actual audition, or was he a plant for the show? Can anybody actually answer that question?
I don't know.
I talked to him, so I think he was a legit audition.
There were definitely a few plants, a few fakes, and I don't know if he was one or not. But there were definitely and there were some people that came back, like actors and actresses that were plants that came back for other things. But
it was weird.
I don't know
And a
about
couple
these
people
ones.
had makeup artists, and I was kind of like, "Why do they have makeup artists?" And no, we don't have makeup artists. But I'm like, all right, yep, that's kind of what that is. But yeah, it's fine. All right, so I think we're good on questions. Does anybody have anything else before we get started with the end of episode 1?
I think there were some more questions. I don't know.
Homeless Man, plant. People are making fun of my PowerPoint skills. Like, I love Dan's PowerPoints.
I don't know.
Another one says DragonCon PowerPoints are great because I actually give like at DragonCon, the convention in Atlanta, I'm on a couple panels and I always have PowerPoints galore, and I'm always like, let's look at slides, and let's look at your stuff, where everybody else just kind of talks, and I'm like, let's be visual. It's fun.
Oh, someone was asking about the names.
Oh yeah, and we also have this one too, Hyperstrike's audition costume. All right, who wants to go first for that one? Ting. Diffuser, Takedown. You want to start with yours? Or Lady Reckoning?
You want to go talk about the whole story about my name?
Yeah, shorten it, but yes.
All right, so basically, my name was Takedown, and they said they wanted to change my name because they said Takedown was a wrestler from the 80s. And I argued with them that I'd had some entertainment lawyers look it up, and it didn't really apply, a different genre. But they argued with me and said that my new name, and I don't know if I've ever publicly said this, my name was going to be Captain Night Flash. And I said no.
Did you base it off of a
That
flashlight?
sounds like an out-of-work 70s stripper working in New York at Chippendales.
Oh, Diffuser.
And we argued, and they said that I had to take the new name. I said, well, no, I don't. I can go back to Texas.
Right.
I said, I am a police detective, and that's going to be my career for the next 15 years, and I'm not going to go around being known as Captain Night Flash.
And you had a freaking tattoo.
Yeah, I had the tattoo, and my costume was just littered with TD for Takedown.
Right.
And they said, so this is a deal breaker for you. I said, yeah, give me a plane ticket. I'll go home.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, hang on. And they hung up. And there's a lot more to the story, but eventually about a half hour later, the phone rings. And I pick it up and I go, hello. Hi, this is Stan Lee. And I went,
a pony.
And I mean, total fanboy freaking out. I mean, I knew the voice,
Right.
like he really needed to introduce himself. And he goes, so I hear you have a problem with your name. And I said, yeah. And he goes, okay, so tell me about your job. So we talked about my job, and I wasn't the cop that kicked in the doors and, choked out the crackheads. I was the guy you sent to the elementary schools and the neighborhood meetings, or the explosive situations, and I would talk people down. He goes, so basically you go into explosive situations and you diffuse them. And I went, well, yes, sir. And he goes, all right, you're the diffuser. Any more questions?
That's such a Stan story.
Stan gives you your name.
Right.
And I'm like,
Love it.
Yes, sir. I'll see you in the morning.
Yep. But I love that they still misspelled your name like a hair diffuser for quite a long time
Yes,
instead of a
they
bomb
did.
diffusing.
I brought my hair diffuser to the Lair because I have really long curly hair, and it was black and red, and it matched the diffuser's outfit. So one of the first things I ever said to him was, "Diffuser, oh my God, look, I have one."
I remember.
Right?
But I'm glad we were friends and he didn't think I was making fun of him.
Nice.
Because he was like, this is my name. I'm like, yes, diffuser, own it.
Yep. Like my original name was Paragon. Because Paragon is an unfaltered gemstone and a pinnacle of perfection. All my powers were gemstone based, and I'm like, this is genius. And then they called me up, same thing. We're in the literal hotel room the day before we started, and they're like, hey, you can't be Paragon because there's a Paragon City in City of Heroes, the video game, so we can't do it. And I was like, what? And they're like, your name is Pantheon. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. So literally, I'm in the hotel room on my phone Googling what Pantheon is, and I'm like, okay, so it's a set of gods. I can make all my powers god-based. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. People can call me Pan. It'll be cute. An hour later, they call me back and they said, nope, your name is Parthenon. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, it's exactly the same as Pantheon. But that's how I got the stupid name Parthy. All you people call me Parthy. And I'm like...
Dan, have I ever sent you? I have, on the guy side, I have y'all's original sketch costume artwork. Did I ever send you that?
What? No.
Yeah, I have the original multiple sketches of all of our potential costumes. I'll send
No
them to you
way.
tonight.
Yeah, okay. We'll show those next week. Bring them on. We're going to show them. So it'll make it fun.
I've never seen that. That sounds so cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would love to
And
see
then
that.
this is Mary Beth saying, hey, yeah, we were all getting texted home for the name thing because we still had our phones that night. So I kept texting all my friends and I'm like, what the hell is this? And so I had them doing research as well, sending me back like what it was and stuff. So that's how I became Parthy, and I learned to love it. But I'm like, pfft. How
We
about
love
you,
you,
Whip Snap?
Parthy.
Thank you. I love you too. What about a Whip Snap, Miss Lady Reckoning?
Yes, I was Lady Reckoning. I wanted to represent Texas, and so Lady Reckoning was great, just for justice. And I always envisioned myself with, taking care of business in a way that, people would respect the law. So anyway, called Paula, we're not going to be able to do that. I'm like, what do you mean? This means so much to me. And they said, well, Stanley wants to call you whippersnapper. I said, a whippersnapper? I hung up the phone because I thought it was a joke at that point. I'm like, really? A whippersnapper? So the producer he calls me back. Now, I was mad. There were no tears because I'm like, is this serious? So I get back on the phone and they said, Paula, I'm like, yes. Well, this is Stanley's assistant, and please don't hang up the phone again. I'm like, well, what do you mean whippersnapper? I said, well, and I said, why whippersnapper? So anyway, like you, diffuser, they hung up. I'm like, nope. I was in California already, but I was ready to go back to Texas with diffuser. I'm like, I can go back home. And so I said, well, we'll call you back. Within a few minutes, I get a phone call back. It is Stanley. And I asked him, he's like, Paula.
He was putting out fires.
Yes,
How can you argue with Stan Lee? And you're just like, no, mister, I think you're right.
And I said, well, you tell me why. He said, okay, well, what's wrong with whippersnapper? I said, it sounds stupid. It sounds like, I don't know. It just sounded stupid. And so he said, okay, what about whip snap? I pondered. I'm like, well, why whip snap? He said, because you are the epitome of like a whip snap. You fiery, you're tough, and I can see you, and you represent whip snap. So of course I had to whip on my hip. And Stan Lee, like you, diffuser, he looked down and asked some stuff about me. He said, well, whip snap then. I'm like, okay. And he emphasized on the whip. And I was like, yeah. So I fell in love with whip snap.
I'm telling you, like, he can sell anything to anyone. Because he's just like, your name is going to be whatchamacallit. You're like, it's fine. Let me tell you why.
Make it work.
You can make it work. We'll call you Whatty for short and Chacallit for long. It's like, although I like that. Did you see what Nick said? He was like, well, at least your name wasn't Cool Whip. And I'm like, yeah.
Right. That's good. Cool Whip.
Yeah. So to answer the other person's question, by the way, why some of our costumes changed between the show audition and the actual recruiting of it is we actually went home for probably like, I want to say a month. Is that about right?
Yeah, about a
right.
month.
So I know I helped remake my costume too. So Heidi, who I mentioned in some of the chats, she helped me sew the costume. But I did like the first one and it was like wackadoodles. And I'm like, this will never last for anything. So I needed something sturdier. And so I know I redid my outfit and a couple other people did. And the reason a couple other people changed their names, like Mitzvah was originally Peaceman, Hyperstrike's original name was Super Impact Man. Is that right?
Yeah, Super Impact Man.
Yeah.
Yes. But so those were all characters, yes. So they had trademarks on them already, and the show had to own them. So that's why they had to change their names to something different. So that's kind of why we had to do all that kind of stuff.
They just asked me, they're like, are you sure you want us to call you Trash? I was like, yes, that's my name.
You'd be like, and yes, I'm comfortable with that. That's my whole plan.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what I want to do.
no.
It's good. The video is going to flip up here 1 second, but give it a minute because I'm going to take it down. Woo! And there you go. I'm getting that set up for a minute.
Damn dog.
Damn dog. Okay, for those of you who have never seen the show before, the dog will be mentioned again. Let's just start this now. And we will talk about the dog later. But yes, it'll be fun. All right. So yeah, I think we answered all the chats. Anybody else have anything before we start again?
Love you.
It'll be good. All right, everybody. Onwards with the show. Here is the end of episode number 1. Enjoy.
Right.
Yeah.
For car keys.
Whoa, we got Jack.
Hey, here's the tire. Let's go. Right here. Grab the tire. There's no nuts. Nuts all over the place.
There was so much mishigas going on. You just didn't know where to turn.
I need more nuts. Somebody look for the nuts.
There were like no tires on the car. I was just totally confused.
Look over every inch of both cars.
The diffuser is just born later.
Who's checked for car keys?
But you don't see like Spider-Man yelling. You don't see Batman ever yelling.
Make sure the tires that are on are inflated.
Everyone was focusing so hard and trying to get the tires back on. We didn't really need 10 people to be doing that.
Do you need some help with those boxes?
Oh, I can use some.
I'll help you. There was a guy trying to get boxes inside.
That's good, thanks.
Okay. Oops. So I'm hoping that helping was the right thing to do because superheroes always have to help people.
You need some help now? Thank you, dear.
Ready to load in the vehicle. Get in the car. Get ready to load.
Is everything okay, man? That's so sweet of you.
Start the engine. Load up.
Go, baby.
You guys, there's something I really want to say to everybody. There was an old lady with a walker. I really should have said, look, there's something weird with this lady.
Well, in her defense, we were running around screaming, have you seen my nuts?
Well, heroes, we've had quite an adventure, wouldn't you say? I've been watching everything you've been doing. Many of you have made great strides on your quest to be a superhero. Others have stumbled. And now it's time for our first elimination.
I gotta say I'm nervous. You're crazy if you're not. I don't think anyone right now feels safe.
Meet me on the roof.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitzvah. His team lost in the first challenge. He's kind of been away from the group. And I think that isolation might hurt him.
If I had to pick one that would be asked to leave tonight, it would have to be one of the two Yentas. Either Parthenon or Miss Limelight. Talk.
I don't really have any fear or apprehension, and maybe that's gonna lead to my demise, but hopefully not.
If I end up going home tonight, that's going to really make me seriously look at myself, at how I view what I think being a hero is.
I'm nervous. You never know what Stan is looking for. So yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
I have jitters. I think it's natural to be nervous.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Okay.
Superheroes, the time has come. Superheroes, I told you I was looking for the person with the heart and soul of a hero. It's much more than simply accomplishing tasks. It's about being heroic whenever the moment presents itself. Whipsnap, you fell down in the wind tunnel, and that cost your team valuable time. But despite that, you picked yourself right up, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. The diffuser. You led your team to victory. Well done. On the other hand, when your tires were stolen, you were so busy leading, you failed to notice what the true test was. It wasn't about changing tires. It was about helping others in need. There were 3 opportunities. You missed all 3. Hygiena and Basura.
Is everything okay, ma'am? That's so sweet of you.
Do you need some help, ma'am?
You tried to help the older woman with her walker. Well done. And Parthenon.
Do you need some help with those boxes?
Only you took the time to help the delivery man. Well done, too. However, despite a poster right next to those cars, not one of you noticed that lost dog. For all I know, that dog might still be there. Mr. Mitzvah, you were the only one who observed that cut lock at the crime scene.
This was broken? Yes. Okay, so they went out this way.
But you were unnecessarily rude to Mr. Long.
May I have your name?
No, I'm to help you. You're not here to help me.
And you seem to be not bonding well with your superhero friends.
Not so hard. Knock off my grindstones.
Braid, I really didn't like the way you interacted with Mr. Long. You seemed to spend more time talking about yourself than solving the crime.
My hair is powerful. Together, united means power.
You also didn't seem that involved with the group. And I have the feeling you've been laying back too much. Ms. Limelight, you saw the older woman, but decided not to help. It's one thing not to notice someone in need, but to actually see them and then decide not to help. And I need to see you demonstrate more overall courage. The time has come. 3 of you will be asked to step forward and tell me why I should not send you home. Mr. Mitzvah, please step forward. Braid. Miss Limelight. Mr. Mitzvah, why should I let you remain in the lair?
Because I was not intentionally rude. At the time, he seemed very evasive, so uncooperative. It actually seemed that he was the guilty party.
You never entertained the possibility that he was the victim?
No, he did not act like any victim under normal circumstances would act.
Braid, what would it mean to you if I were to let you remain in the lair?
It would mean a lot to me, sir. I know you said that I talked more about me to Mr. Long, but this is not about me. I'm here for a greater cause than myself.
Thank you. Miss Limelight, why should you remain in the lair?
I know that I have so much more in me. This is, to me, about just showing something you never thought you'd be able to do. I've given 100%, but I'll keep giving it because it's amazing.
Thank you. This is a very, very difficult decision for me. The person leaving the lair tonight is... Mr. Mitzvah, Braid, Ms. Limelight, the time has come. The person leaving the lair tonight is... Braid. You're leaving because with Mr. Long, you spent more time talking about yourself than trying to help the victim. The superhero must be more concerned about helping others than with basking in the limelight. More importantly, I needed to see you act heroically in the wind tunnel, with the tire jacking, and in the lair. You failed to make an impact on your team. Sadly, your actions were not heroic enough.
Sorry, sir. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. It has been an adventure. I wish I'd have been here longer.
You're an amazing woman, Braid, but turn in your costume.
I'm really going to miss Braid. I wanted more time to get to know her, but I know she could have given more.
You will.
First one kicked out. You know, it's not awesome, but I don't regret anything. The thing that I'm going to miss most in the lair are the other superheroes. I wish I'd have had more time to challenge myself, but it's been great.
Superheroes, as you've just seen, laying back will never win this competition. Miss Limelight got it right. This is a journey, and you have to push yourself harder and further than you ever thought you could. Now return to the lair and get a good night's rest. Because tomorrow, the heat gets turned up. Good night.
We'll just see how super these heroes really are. Won't we, my pretties?
We can't hear you.
That is true. That would help if I actually unmute. But that's the end of episode number 1. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Dun, dun, dun. And we're good. I know. It's fine. But Braid! We lost you in this episode. To this day, I'm still shocked. Because, it completely caught me off guard. Because I didn't really understand what they were using to criteria or what the heck was going on in the first place. So it was just crazy. Crazy. Yeah. What is your feelings?
Oh,
let's give you some time.
Reality. Well, with all the editing, yes. I didn't like Mr. Long because Mr. Long would never, ever answer my questions in the warehouse, the detective questions, which I think he did that with everybody to some extent.
Right.
Where he just was evasive and he'd say, tell me about your powers. Tell me about your powers. And you're like, I'm not here for my powers. I'm here to get information. So I would say that's the issue at hand. Great editing, yes.
Yes. I think editing is always the bane of existence for all like reality TV shows. And I don't think anybody that hasn't been on a TV show doesn't really know that. So it's kind of like always like a weird comment when people kind of talk to you about it, you know? And then this person said, they really try hard to trip you all up. And that is correct. They try hard and they ask you leading questions all the time. So they're like, why does this person suck? And why did you think that? And I'm like, that's not what I said. Not all. And what are you talking about? And you're like, what? So yeah.
Yeah.
They would always say stuff like, so why is Hygiena upset with you? And I'm like,
you're like, what?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Or like poor Mr. Even in Mr. Mitzvahs, I was just looking at that again. And he was telling him kind of he was rude. But when Mr. Long doesn't answer your questions and you only have like a minute or two to get your clues, then yeah.
Right.
So I have to stand up for Mr. Mitzvah on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole situation was super weird. Like super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys remember walking in there like in the lobby of that place? And we're like,
Yes.
we had no idea what we're supposed to do. They didn't give us
Right.
really any instructions. So then I'm like, Basura, you can talk to animals, right? You're like, yeah, insects. And I'm like, can anybody speak to fish? Because there's a fish tank. And I'm like, wait, I speak whale. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, because when you're going in the room, you don't know what to look at because you don't know what's going to be. So we're looking at weird things like, oh, look at the map on the wall. Oh my gosh, there's a fish tank. I wonder if the goldfish means anything.
Right. And I'm like, we were trying everything because we didn't actually know what powers we could use on the show either. So we were like, can we shoot something? Can we be like, no? Okay. Like, do you have a truth beam? No, I don't know. Whatever. It's like one of those things. So it's a very confusing time.
There's a thin line between assertive and aggressive and trying to talk to Mr. Long, be like, hey, focus. We're trying to help you. And just keep them directed towards what we were supposed to do. And then just to be like, stop, dude. Look, stop talking about this. But that was his job, was to distract us. So I don't think anyone was rude to him, but
And Braid, with Braid getting kicked off, it really accentuates a point about the entire show, season 1 and season 2.
Editing.
The challenges were so abstract that it wasn't apples and apples that we were being judged on. It was so abstract, it could be perceived any way. So who really deserved to be eliminated or not? In a couple of cases, it seemed legit, but in most, it was like, why did they is there some, is the Illuminati in the background just deciding who gets kicked off today?
Yeah, there was no winner of any challenge. There was no like winner or loser. It was like, you did it or you didn't do it.
There was winning teams, but that was about it. But there was no like individual people. Because Brink, you were on the team that came in first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was on diffusers. And
So
then
it
I was
should have been
mad
like
because I'm like, he's like, you didn't help with the car. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Right. You're like, somebody had to get the wheels
on the ground helping diffuser find the lug nuts. And we're like putting the tire back on the car.
Do you know why I didn't help with that? It's because I had no idea how to change a tire. That's why I'm like, why would they make somebody do this? And I'm like, because that's why I started looking around and I'm like, this is not this challenge because they're not testing our ability to change a tire. And that's the only reason I saw literally anything else. But speaking of anything else, does anybody want to talk about the dog?
Nope.
No, we don't want to talk about the dog.
The dog was not there.
No, I'm telling you, that dog was such an abstract thing because we were on one side of the street. There was a whole entire street, and then the dog was on the other corner of the other side of a street with a poster, and there was one poster on the door, and it was just the most ridiculous thing that I have seen. And I was watching it later, and I'm like, what are we even talking about?
Editing.
Yeah, and it was just one of those crazy things. But we have another question about editing, by the way. Marnie wants to know, was there an actual projection screen used in the elimination scenes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that was live.
Big one.
Yeah. So,
And it was freezing cold on the roof.
That's what I wanted to say. Yes, thank
that
you,
was
Brady.
like midnight or 1 a.m. sometime.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the night.
Okay, so I just read it. When Braid got eliminated and when we got back downtown or back to our rooms, it was 4 a.m.
Oh,
yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize as they're filming this is
4
we
a.m.
woke our asses up at like 6 a.m. sometimes, and we were filming as Parthy just said till 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So if we looked a little rough,
And it was cold, really, really cold.
Yeah.
It was so cold. It just made me angry.
Most of us are in scantily clad outfits.
Yeah.
Like,
On the rooftop.
pants. You know what I mean? Yeah. So literally, we filmed on our rooftop of our lair, and we had to climb up like a ladder on the side of a building.
Yeah.
We had to go out of a bookcase. That actually was true, which was kind of cool. It's like
Yeah.
you walk outside of like the fake door, which is a bookcase. You go up the ladder, and at one point it got so cold while we were filming that the producers had to give us jackets. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Where we
The
were
blankets
huddling in
and
a
stuff.
corner. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god. And
I was going to trade my whip for a jacket.
Right.
Towards the end, you can see some of us shivering.
Yep.
I mean, we're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But it made it look like we were scared to be eliminated, though. Really crazy.
Right.
You notice me because I wrap myself in my cape like a blanket. So you'll see me all the time with my cape like woof, around me, and I'm like, ooh.
I was sure to include a jacket as an extra costume piece. As a costume designer, I had like all these extra costume pieces I didn't get to use for the show, but I brought them all. But they let me wear the little jacket, little shrug thing. But
that was cute though. That actually figured out like look.
Really warm enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most practical.
We did have another quick question. I'm trying to scroll back in the comments for it. Okay. But would any of you have ever done any of the challenges again from episode 1? I know how to do it again.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who wants to argue with Mr. Long?
No.
I actually liked it because I don't mind arguing with people, so I'll
Yeah.
totally argue with him again.
So remember Mr. Long, we actually thought maybe he robbed his own store because he was so evasive when you could not get any clues from him, like what happened during the crime. So we were like, you know what, maybe he just robbed his own store.
Yeah, I even told him, look, I'll whip you. You can take the whip. I'll whip you with it, whatever you want. Just tell me what I need to know. Yeah. I sold my soul.
Yeah, it was so weird, but like the water challenge was quite cool, and I thought it was cool, and I would totally do it again, but with better shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what though, that aqueduct was very disgusting though.
Yeah.
People don't realize that's a real aqueduct, and
I know.
Pretty nasty.
filth and nasty, and that was real. Yeah.
You want to talk about nasty? We're going to watch episode 2 coming up pretty quick. We have to go against Bee Sting.
Oh, yeah.
Worst supervillain ever.
I think it's hilarious. She was always one of my favorites because I feel like she was classic supervillain. Like, that's what it just feels like to me. She's like, oh, look at me, I'm a bee and I'm thing. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's totally it.
Her little movements.
So somebody said next week you guys going to recreate the challenge. Yes.
Oh, we wish.
We're gonna go
a garden hose and a fan.
That's what I was gonna do.
Oh my god.
Diffuser, we're on the same page. I was gonna film that for you. It'd be good.
Animated. Yeah.
Oh god, that would be actually fun. I'm okay with that.
Action figures, Gina.
Yes.
Those will come out till like we're talking like episode 7.
Right.
So spoiler alert. Yes, but I think we should give it up for Braid because she was fabulous and taken before her time. Because I always wish you stayed longer. I know, because we were actually friends beforehand, so I thought it was like, yeah, we're gonna win it and blah blah blah, and then she voted off, and I was like, what? And I was just pissed, and I was like, ugh, shenanigans.
But we're still friends, so it's good.
I know, she's good, love it. Boop. No, it's not hard. Boop. That's still. I suck at this. I can't do it. There you go. One of those. Hashtag I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, good. All right. So is everybody ready for episode number 2? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, good. It's going to be popping up here in 1 second on the side, but I got to click a few buttons before that actually starts. I know. It's all the housekeeping back-end technical stuff, but it'll be fun. All right, is everybody ready?
Ready.
Yay! Perfect. All right, everybody, here we go.
Wherever there is chaos, mayhem, bad guys, there is now hope. Welcome to the adventure of a lifetime.
Let's go! Saving the world!
Welcome to Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
I'm looking for the person who has the heart and soul of a hero.
The show in which Stan Lee, the greatest comic book author of all time, searches for his next great superhero. One of these superheroes will receive a prize money can buy.
Immortality. The winner will become a legend in a comic book, as an action figure, and in a movie.
Oh my God!
The superhero hopefuls come from all walks of life.
Excuse me. Super burp.
They think they know what they're getting into.
I'm here to save the world.
This is gonna be a piece of cake.
But they haven't got a clue. Because this year, the journey is more epic. The competition is more unpredictable.
So not cool.
Our secret identities are gone.
It's not kosher.
The stakes are even higher.
I'm mad.
I know I have bad self-confidence.
I miss you too.
Who will be victorious?
I'm on it.
Who will become immortal?
I want to be super forever.
Who wants to be a superhero? Starts now. Previously, on Who Wants to Be a Superhero, Stan's Chosen 10 landed at the Lair.
Welcome, true believers.
And immediately were put to the test.
Wait a minute, you can't be in here.
She's a little tied up right now.
Stan's been kidnapped.
And their first mission.
I was scared.
You failed. But nothing was as it seemed.
I staged my own kidnapping.
Then,
Show me what was stolen.
Stan challenged their crime-solving skills.
Who broke in? This is not good.
What was stolen?
Together, united in this power.
But the heroes became the victims.
Whoa, we got jacked.
And faced their first hidden test.
Not one of you noticed that lost dog.
And later,
I'm gonna throw up.
in a tense rooftop elimination, the first hero to be sent home was
Braid. Your actions weren't heroic enough.
Now, 9 remain, and the journey only gets tougher.
Get a good night's rest. You're going to need it.
We missed a lost dog? The challenge?
Yeah.
A lost dog, you guys?
I saw that dog walking around in the warehouse.
Did you? I didn't see that lost dog.
I never saw the poster. More than the lost dog. How about Braid, right?
I thought Braid was doing great. I feel terrible.
Yeah, that's like the scariest thing in the world. Like standing up there is so scary. It's like that person just went home and like I was like this close to it being me. It's like so serious now.
It was really hard to see Braid leave. It was so much more emotional than I thought it was going to be in the house.
So, Miss Limelight, you survived the elimination. Tell me what you think about yourself. I'm feeling closer to Limelight. I see her as a very young lady who doesn't quite have the self-confidence that she needs.
Obviously, yeah, it's a huge confidence boost, but I don't know if it's something I can do overnight. It's been like this my whole life. I have so much self-confidence, and then when I get around a group of people, I like doubt myself.
I'll tell you what. I've got my own challenge for you. For 24 hours, I do not want to hear the words, I'm scared or I'm afraid come out of your mouth. So let's have a bond. You're not going to say, I'm afraid or I'm scared for 24 hours. Can you do that with me? Can you do that with me? All right, good deal.
I'll try.
I knew you had it in you.
I will.
You got it.
I will. It's like, yeah, I will.
I don't think you are dumb. I think it's a part that you're playing. And it's kind of the, happy, kind of dumb, I think it's a role.
People my whole life have told me this, that I'm fake, that I'm playing a part. And that to me is like, no, it's the worst because it's not. People don't know where I come from. Because people like you tell me I'm being silly and I'm playing a role. I'm trying to be a dumb person.
I did think that Mindset's comment came a little bit out of left field. It's definitely
very confrontational, maybe more of an attack than I think was necessary.
You don't know. It bothers me that people think that I'm an act, or that I'm fake, or that I'm trying to get attention. That's not me.
I am very honest with people, and especially if I feel like they're making a mistake of some sort, I'll say something.
All my life, he called me man. What are you? All my life. I'm such an advocate about not judging the book by its cover. You have to read the book. Behind those tears, you remember this one thing. I am somebody.
It's making me second guess myself, so now it's like I gotta prove I can't let people bother me. I just can't.
You're right.
As a superhero, you got all kinds of people watching you. You got kids looking up to you. You gotta be so
Keep
aware.
your eyes peeled for dogs.
Yeah.
Breaking news now, the notorious criminal Bee Sting has escaped from the state penitentiary. Authorities are urging extreme caution and say the fugitive was spotted traveling southwest towards the downtown elementary school.
That's not far from here.
I don't think so.
Okay, superheroes, we've got a problem. And you're the only ones I know who can solve it. I want you to get yourselves down to the abandoned school and track down Bee Sting before she can wreak havoc on our fair city. Let's go!
Let's go!
Come on, Mr. Mitzvah.
Good thing I put my cologne on. She's supposed to be sexy.
Bee Sting's got to be around here somewhere.
We have a mission at hand, and we have to keep our composure.
Sense danger.
Hello, superheroes. I'm Bee Sting, and welcome to my spelling bee.
Oh man, I'm so ready for these challenges. I'm gonna kick some butt and there's gonna be no messing around.
The first team to spell 3 words correctly will earn everyone's release.
Here we go, guys. Get ready, relax, relax.
The first word is besieged. Tall man.
B-E-S.
Wrong.
She's not only insane, she can't spell.
It's B-E-E-S-I-E-G-E-D.
With 2 E's, B-E-E.
Okay, get it. So she's the B woman, so she's gonna be using 2 E's whenever there's only one.
You figured out the game. Good for you. I want to make this a little more interesting. The next time someone makes a mistake, they'll be putting their team in grave danger. Next word, berate.
B-E-R-A-T-E. I will not play your games. That is how it is spelled.
Then you will not be released.
Hello? It would have been nice for Mindset to talk to us first before he put us all in jeopardy.
I think the rest of us are in for a world of hurt.
It's time to say hello to my little friend. 1,000 bees for Team 2.
Bees? Are you kidding me?
It's time to say hello to my little friend.
Bees, this stinks.
1,000 bees for Team 2.
I was like, Mindset, what are you thinking? That's when I knew we were all gonna get stung.
Bees? Are you kidding me? I was afraid, but I didn't want to admit it.
Just keep your mouth closed and your nose, guys. Don't move too fast.
Next word, benumbed.
I have 2 big fears.
very claustrophobic, and I hate bees.
Okay, cleaning lady.
I just want all the kids out there to know that correct spelling is very important. So I'll play your little game right now.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well stated. Good call, Hygiena.
The word is benumb. B-E-E-N-U-M-B.
Correct. You've got one right. Next word. Be unitedness.
B-E-E-K.
Wrong.
1,000 bees for Team 1. I was terrified, but I didn't say it because I had made a promise to the diffuser that I would not say I was scared or nervous at all.
It was terrifying. Here.
Ow!
You're all right. Don't move so fast. Don't move so fast. If you have to, just close your eyes and stand there.
Oh man, that hurt. Berserkers.
B-E-E-Z.
I'm sorry.
Now, Team 2, let's up it to 3,000 bees.
Sorry, guys. It sure did escalate when more bees started coming in. There were quite a few, and there's one crawling in my ear.
I got stung in the mouth, actually.
Okay, let's get another word. Betwixt.
My strategy for surviving was covering my eyes, my ears, my nose. Complete craziness.
I felt like Mitzvah might have been cheating. I just felt like I was dishonest.
Blonde guy in the back.
B-E-E-T-W-I-X-T.
You have another correct answer. Do nothing. Next word. Bezor. B-E-E-Z-O-U-R. Oh, that was so close.
Let's up it to 3,000 bees in Team 1's cage.
Beatitude. Okay, cleaning lady.
B-E-E-A-T-T.
Wrong.
Team 2, you now have 10,000 bees.
Next word. Beguile.
B-E-E-G-U-I-L-E. Beguile.
Oh, very good. One for you. The next word. Bewail.
B-E-E-W-A-I-L.
Well, we have a horse race. 2-2.
Great job, Limelight.
Whichever team gets the next word right is going to win.
Let's just get out of here. Bees are attracted to fear. They're attracted to movement. Whipstap I was worried about.
I was afraid. I'd never been accosted by bees. Ouch!
Next word. Ouch! Benign. Greek boy, go for it.
Benign. B-E-E-N-E.
Wrong. Let's up it to 10,000 bees in Team 1's cage.
The next word is Bemire. Okay, insect girl.
B-E-E-M-I-R-E.
Well, we have a winning team.
Good job. Good job.
Great job.
Good job.
Hands in real quick.
Good job, son.
Great job, you
Good
guys.
job.
Congratulations. Super Zeros.
You survived my spelling bee. Team 1 are the winners. Perhaps Team 2 would have done better if the bald guy played along.
But before I leave, here's something to remember me by. Oh, that's going to leave a mark.
That's really not cool. That was bogus. After we cooperated with her, she dumps honey on us. She was being a real bee.
We performed, I think, as best as we could, given the circumstances.
Oh, if somebody could straighten her out, she would just be sexy without the evil part. She'd make a beautiful, beautiful girlfriend. She'll have to convert.
We need to clean off down here. Don't want anything to happen to the lair.
What are we gonna do now? You know, we can't be running around fighting crime looking like this.
I'm sorry. You there. Would you mind assisting with the hose there, sir?
I'm rather annoyed.
What is that?
My systems aren't affected adversely. Such a substance could not affect this technology, but as you can see, the cape is rather destroyed. And I like this cape.
The superhero without a super costume is just a person in other people's eyes. I felt really exposed.
I am Hypermon.
That's a look. Heroes in.
Excelsior.
2, 3,
Excelsior! Look at the showers.
Personally, I just want to make sure my taser gloves still work. I mean,
The only one I'm kind of concerned about is mindset, because you have such advanced armor that I'm not sure we can help you with it.
Good morning, superheroes. Meet me in the game room in 15 minutes and be in your super suits.
Mr. Lee, sir?
Our super suits were kind of destroyed last night.
Yeah, they're pretty much in shambles.
Sorry, 15 minutes.
Let's go grab what's left of them.
I was like, okay, this is gonna be a challenge because my tights, they don't really go up because they're sticky still.
Oh my God, these are soaking wet. This Limelight?
I thought that was yours.
Guys, we have 15 minutes.
You're right.
I don't know what to do.
No, I'm missing some stuff.
Yeah.
I'll look over to my right and immediately I realize Mr. Mitzvah, doesn't.
Mr. Mitzvah, no pants?
Ruined. Everything was ruined.
We gotta go.
Mr. Mitzvah was probably the least prepared. Not only did he not have spare costume pants, he doesn't seem to have any other pants.
Are we all here? Who are we missing?
Come on, you're late.
Good morning, superheroes.
Good morning, sir.
You're looking a tad tattered, and I might add, late. I need my superheroes on time, and preferably Mr. Mitzvah with your pants on. As I decide which one of you will be my next superhero, there are many things I'll have to consider. I want each of you to report to me with your character's origins, powers, and catchphrase. I'll be using all of this as part of my final decision. I'll be seeing you shortly, one by one. Ms. Limelight, you're up first. Please meet me in the library. Ms. Limelight, hi there.
Hello.
What would you say your best superpower is?
I think the superpower is, oh, give me 1 minute. It's,
Her superpower is, yeah, it's one of those kind of things. Let me get the other heroes back on here and we can all talk about it. All right. I think we got everybody back on, except Diffuser. We just got an empty screen for
Making
him.
dinner.
I'll take him off for a minute.
Making popcorn.
It's got to be one of those things. So we actually have a lot in that one kind of scene. So what did you guys think of Bee Sting?
I love her look and her moves and her whole character, but like I said on the show, I didn't say a bad word. I said she's a real bee.
Right. I thought she was kind of fun. Like
She was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is sometimes. You meet a really cute, fun girl and then you get dumped and it sucks.
Right.
Dumped on us really hard.
I like it. It makes it fun. We actually have a couple different questions. Craig wants to know, did you all know your costumes were going to get ruined? And then we have like a lot of different questions about the bees as well. Let me go back because some people wanted to know what happened to the bees. How did they really release bees in with us? Let's just talk about that. Who wants to talk about it?
Yes, they did.
I was so sad because a lot of bees got stepped on and they were my friends.
Can I tell you, do you remember me saying this to you when they first started releasing bees in here? I turned to you and I was like, your power is you can control animals and bugs. Can you control the bees? And I was like, how do we use our powers in this shit TV show? And I was like, come on. No. Yeah, it really was bees. Oh, and Jared's back. Hold on. Oh, now you're back in. What were you saying?
there were a lot of bees, but not as many as they added some in post.
CGF.
Yeah.
Yes.
There were real bees.
That's why everybody thought they were fake, because they added more bees into it. But there was totally a lot of bees in there, and I was like,
there was hundreds.
I mean, they were on your ears, and I mean, you're just like, because you don't want to go. Whoosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the way they got the bees to kind of come at you is that they had the queen bee in a box taped to the microphone. So if you go back and look at the microphone, the queen bee was taped to the microphone. So all the bees were like, meh, on the microphone. And you're like,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought the bees were just attracted to my, coconut
They were
butter
dumping.
lotion.
I mean, they
They
might
were
have.
dumping pollen on us too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were dumping like yellow, gooey, like pollen powder, like dumping it on us too.
I thought
so
that
we
was
could
just
attract
like
more bees.
pre for what they were going to do later. But does anybody actually know what happened to the bees? Because we should probably talk about this, because I get a lot of questions, and I'm like, how did you guys fall for falling in that net? Anybody? I get this question a lot, and I'm always like,
you go for it, because Diffuser and I both, you can tell the story.
well, because Diffuser is really good about police stuff. So they drop us in this weird school, and do you want to take it from there?
No, you go.
All right. So they get dropped in the school, and they're like, and go. But they don't tell us what to do. So they're just like, in the school. And so we're looking around, and Diffuser's like a trained police officer. So he's like, all right, we're going a little bit, and we're stopping. We're going a little bit, and we're stopping. We're looking, we're stopping. And so we open this big door, we stop, and the producers throw this net. It totally misses everyone that lands on the ground. Because we just look at it, and we're just like, what? Who falls for this? You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, and so they're like, you guys, you have to get caught by the net or nothing makes sense. And I was like, fine. So then they let us throw. Then we went back and they let us throw the net at them and stuff like that.
Well, Basuda and I both spotted the guys.
Oh yeah.
We like dropped and rolled.
Yeah, and they were trying to hide from us, and we're like, we're not going under there, and we all just stopped, and they're like, cut.
Yeah. I know.
And
you have to cut, because literally there's no logistic way that they can capture us in the net, shove us in bins, and put us in glass cases without us knowing. You know what I mean? So it's like,
well,
all right.
If I had I don't remember if it was as a group or if one of the many times I got pulled over to the side and got yelled at. But
they did that to me too, so it's okay.
But basically, I was like, all right, we're going to walk into the net, but Stan can't ding us for not being observant.
Right.
Because we saw this and called it. So, okay, we'll play along. Don't ding us for it.
That's right.
Yep, I would agree. A couple people actually want to know, who was the most freaked out when it came to the bees, and who actually got stung. So, because I know a couple of people said they got stung. Did anybody get stung? You got stung?
I never got stung.
Hygiena to me was the bravest of them all. To me, Hygiena. I mean, it was sitting on your nose. You were just stoic. And
I don't know. There were many times in this show that I just went into another place.
I saw that, and I wish I was there with you.
I don't know. I'm claustrophobic, and now you're putting bees, so I think I just was like,
yeah.
Yep.
It was tight in there.
I am the same, and I'm the worst speller in the world. My sister actually made fun of me in a comment in the Facebook chats.
I know.
It's
about the spelling. Yeah,
I know. As soon as I saw the bee thing, and I'm like, oh God! Even before we got there, and I was like, it's going to be a spelling bee, and I suck at this, and I'm just like, pfft.
I didn't say anything.
I did. I was like, forget it. But the funny thing is they showed only the question I got wrong, but they didn't show any of the ones I got right.
Right.
And I was like, you think they would let the teacher, the professor, actually get a couple right? And I'm like,
nope.
Yeah, they asked, that scenario lasted a lot longer.
It did.
Yeah.
A ton of questions.
Yeah.
I was wondering if mindset, because he did that. Did he say anything to anybody? Did he say,
not after I gave him that
do
look. No,
Yeah.
I was so pissed at him when he said that. That's one of the reasons I didn't say anything. But no, he didn't say anything.
He didn't
I
say
think they were waiting for everyone to get one right and one wrong.
Yeah.
So they could
Yeah.
slice and edit
Yeah.
it as they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because a couple other people said like, "Hey, how many bees were in there?" And do they ask you guys about allergies? So
yes,
you're gonna go to talk about
After
that.
the fact.
Brave.
783 per booth is how many bees there were. And yes, we all signed a waiver and had to fill
About
out a form
allergies.
that listed everyone's allergies.
I
So
knew.
yes, Parthenon. I was wondering that because I was like, how did I get eliminated during the first round when I'm allergic to bees? And that was the second challenge.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of wonder, but it's okay.
They
I'm
asked us.
tired.
I knew there were going to be bees on the show because they asked us so many times if we were allergic to bees.
Yeah.
And all this paperwork, and we had to all talk to a psychologist.
Yeah.
That, like, profiled us before we went on the show, and we had to go like a lot of stuff. But they asked us about bees so many times, I knew it was going to happen. But I like bees and bugs, but I really had one in my ear. That's what the diffuser was talking about, because I wasn't afraid. But when you have a bee crawling like in your ear hole, and you're in a little phone booth with 5 people and you can't move, I'm like, oh, get out.
Yeah.
Well, we were all trying to. They don't show, but we were all trying to run interference for each other. We were kind of like.
Yeah,
get the bees, bees out of each other's face and stuff.
They tried to talk to me about that in the little interview booth. They were like, "So stuff is getting pretty sexy with you and the diffuser." I saw him whispering sweet nothings into your ear. I'm like, he's blowing a bee out of my ear. That's all. Sweet nothings. Tell me
hilarious.
more. Tell me.
Right. There's a couple of people that have a couple questions about the costumes. I think Dylan at the top said, "Hey, do you guys know if you Mindset could sit in his costume? Because he's got those big shoulders."
Yeah. Not with the shoulder pad, but I think you can sit down.
Can I tell you, he actually could, and it was super comfortable because he made those shoulders, and not only could he sit in them, but he could roll on the floor. Like he could do dodges and stuff. Because remember him doing that in the hero layer.
Yeah, that's true.
He got mad because I was up above him on a little loft thing, and I looked down and I told him he looked like a cyber nipple. He got really mad. Because his bald head and like the little.
There you go.
He was like, "Stop it."
It's one of those. A couple more questions about the. Actually, wait. We have a quick question beforehand. Somebody wants to know: was the intro shot before or after the season? So, does anybody remember when we shot the intro?
During it.
Yeah, it was during, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had to keep coming back and doing pieces. Yeah.
Because remember, Sunday, they wouldn't film on Sundays.
Right.
And so we did advertising stuff on Sundays.
That's right.
And so we did like photo shoots and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was all filmed right then. Yeah. Another person wants to know, did we know our costumes was going to be ruined?
Hypothetically, I knew they were going to give us a makeover, and I'm like, what are they going to write into the show to do this? And I was like kind of scared.
Right. And a lot of our costumes weren't necessarily ruined.
Right.
They just got wet.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the honey.
Yeah, the syrupy honey. Yeah.
The honey.
We smell good.
Right? Everybody wants to know, was that enough honey? And honestly, it wasn't honey.
It was syrup.
It was
a
made
syrup.
of syrup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Yeah.
it's sticky.
Yeah, it was sticky.
The vans. Somebody talk about the vans.
Oh, yeah. We have one more question because I feel like Basura and Diffuser witnessed the net being prepared to be dropping. Yes. So, see, other people got your back too. Makes sense. And actually, when they were doing the honey thing, how it actually worked is they took us out of the cages, got the bees out, because and then they put us back in the cages, and they said they had to film a couple more questions. Right,
but we could totally look up and see the 50-gallon drums
because we were sitting and I could see in the reflection of the window, and I was like, "Boo!" Yeah. And then, honestly, like what I did is for the whole bee challenge and for the honey dump, if you notice, I take my cape and I wrap it around me like a cocoon, so I didn't want anything on me because I literally had open shoulders, no pants, like it was a crazy thing, and I'm like, they're gonna be all over this. So then I kind of did like a honey cocoon. So most of my costume actually wasn't ruined. So that's kind of a weird thing. But Nick wants to know if any of us were mad if things got ruined.
Yep.
Tell your story. I was waiting for it.
I made my entire costume out of trash except this backpack that was made by a designer in London, and it was like molded rubber. Jeffrey Mack. Was it Jeffrey Mack? No, it wasn't Jeffrey Mack. I don't remember. Sorry. But it was a really cool molded rubber backpack that I really loved, and it got completely ruined, and I couldn't replace it. And I kind of got to be assertive and aggressive and got my jacket cleaned because it was like a leather jacket.
Yes.
I really had to kind of be like, you guys, but I was sad about the backpack, but everybody else's stuff got so ruined I couldn't really, say anything.
Yeah. Mine actually was fine. Like, I think I was probably the least affected because I was
I
had my
wanted to
cape
take
around
it
me.
off. They also wouldn't let me take it off because I knew it was going to happen. And I'm like, can I put this over there? And they were like, no, you have to wear it. You have to get ink on.
All right. Since you want to, talk about the murder van.
I just thought it was so funny. Like, Dexter wasn't a thing then. And if you don't watch Dexter or haven't seen it, that's fine. But the vans that we rode back to the Lair in were completely covered in black trash bags everywhere, all the seats. And it looked like, sorry, I don't mean to be grim or disturbing. It looked like somebody was going to get murdered in there.
Yeah.
It was just all plastic covered, and we had to sit in there, and we're sticking to the seat, and it's just
crime scene waiting to happen.
I know. It just made me want waffles.
It was really funny. Yeah.
But yeah, so the murder van was ridiculous because literally it was our normal vans we rode around in sometimes, but just covered in those kind of things. Because we had actually two different types of vehicles. The super vehicles, which you see us get in, which we're actually driving those, which is kind of crazy. Like, all of us kind of took turns driving, and it was nutty. Some of us didn't have our driver's license, by the way. But some of us didn't. Diffuser always did. But some of us didn't. Every time. So yeah, but then we also drove around in big vans if we went somewhere as well, and then people did those. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. What else do we got? How to get the bees out? Can move mitzvah sit, pack between. Oh yeah, pack between a diffuser and limelight. Want to talk about it?
No, I just
it was so cute though.
She was a kid. She's like 18. She's basically my kid's age at the time. And she just, the whole time we're there, and of course, a lot of people don't realize that stuff wasn't all filmed in one day.
Right.
Different days, different times. So we were together a lot more. And a lot of people have asked me, how could you have gotten to know someone so well so quickly? Well, it's not just the time we spent together, it was the intensity of the time. And there was nothing else to do. No TV, no nothing. And I just remember for the days leading up to that, all she would say is, oh my God, I'm so scared. Oh my God, I can't do this. And I'm like, oh no, we are empowering you right now. And I just felt like she had it in her, but she just needed a little push.
I thought it was adorable. Like, I thought it was super cute. Like, it came across super cute on the show. Like, I was glad that moment came across as how it meant. And like, it was good. Like, it was super cute. I liked it. All right, we have one more quick question. Heidi wants to know, we have looked for this in the past. Where do you find the show if I want to watch it later? And here you go. So it's on two different places. One place is the first season is on Hulu. So you can actually, if you have Hulu, the first season 1 for some reason, but not season 2, is on Hulu. Right. Season 2, you can actually watch on SyFy.com. And all you have to do is sign in with one of your cable providers, and you can actually watch them for free. Is there. Because all the.
But you can also purchase to watch it on YouTube.
You can on YouTube and iTunes. You can actually purchase them as well. But, free is always better.
Free is good.
Or you can just do this. Ding. And Mary Beth says, total dad concerned, loved it. And
of course, I have my seasons right here.
Right. And then we also have a couple more things. It's also on Google Play, somebody says. And somebody wants to know what we did in our free time between filming. Anybody have fun stories?
I made up songs about everybody.
Yeah.
I wrote a lot of songs about people.
Yes. And Diffuser's right. We had a ping pong table in our superhero lair. Yeah. So we played superhero ping pong, which I wanted that to be on the show so bad, and they put nothing of it.
It was great footage.
It was great.
It was great. We had shooting and stuff going on the sides too, remember?
Yeah. We did, like, Trish and I were ice skating in the lair because we had socks on and it was all wooden floors. We were doing that.
Yeah.
I remember one night we told ghost stories or something.
We did.
I was telling a scary story about a reel.
I'll never forget that story. You told the scariest true story about those two guys.
The spider guy that spit up out of the police. thing. Yes.
Puke Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes.
But yeah, we told stories. We talked. We.
Yeah.
What about the rats that were?
Yeah.
They,
Oh my God, I forgot
The
about the
rats.
rat.
that jumped out of
I forgot about
the
that.
trash bag.
Oh
I'm
God.
sorry.
It was horrible. I was
Paula.
petrified.
Luckily, I
Paula.
was not there for it.
I mean, it's
Paula,
great,
you know who
but-
you reminded me of? Do you remember who I told you reminded me of?
No, I'm not even going to try. Who?
Grace Jones in Conan.
Yeah.
When I went, yeah.
She had like.
She's my hero. She's so beautiful and powerful. And in that movie, she was afraid of a mouse.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's totally okay.
Yeah, that's right. You know,
Love it.
yeah, I remember that.
We
And
had
she's my idol too, so that
Oh,
worked out well.
I love her.
We
And
had
Mark-
a super kitchen, right?
did.
So we would eat when we had downtime. We would sit
We
and
did.
get something to eat, and
Mhm.
we
And
all
look,
had kind of favorites.
We'd cook.
We'd
Yeah.
cook. Yeah.
They would get us anything we asked for too, which is kind of cool. So like they would bring us food. So like
Yeah.
I survived on Pop-Tarts. But somebody wants to know who the ping pong champion was, because Superhero
You?
Ping Pong was different.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't hit the table, but literally you had to bounce it off of a wall, the ceiling, your ping pong panel, and stuff like
Right.
this. Like the whole object was to not use the table because that's what made
Right.
it.
I gotta get my charger. I'll be right back. But
Okay,
mindset,
so good.
mindset was really good playing ping
Mindset-
pong and all that crap.
Yeah, that's right.
Mindset and actually Hyperstrike were both pretty darn good. So
Hyperstrike's
like
good at
surprisingly good.
Everything.
Yeah.
I know. He's so funny. People like said in the comments too, where he's
he's
like, "Oh, let's go." I loved that, and he's hilarious. He's so adorbs.
I love Hyperstrike. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but we were so competitive with each other. And,
Right?
you know, that's another episode, but we'll see the competitive comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hyperstrike was awesome.
Mary Beth wants to know, was it a dry lair?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We didn't get any alcohol.
No.
Oh,
I know, but I lost 10 pounds. That was nice.
Yeah.
you did? You ended up losing 10 pounds?
Oh yeah, because I didn't eat because I was
Awesome.
nervous the whole time, so I didn't really eat, and I totally didn't drink, and so I was like, boom. But yeah, it's fun. One more question, and then we will get back to part 2 of episode 2 of season 2. Mitzvah pants. Anyone?
Okay, I don't know, but I think they asked him to do that.
I do too.
I think they asked him because I remember him disappearing right before that scene was shot, and him coming back with pants, and I'm like, dude, and he's like, don't pay attention to me. I'm like,
Oh.
I think
Okay.
that was scripted.
Right, but yeah, they
Okay.
still put in my mitzvah, no pants, right? So I'm kind of
Right.
like,
I mean, come on, he's a millionaire. He's got pants.
Right. Right.
right, extra
With
pants
his
and stuff
magic
like that.
mystery paddle. I mean, you know.
That leather paddle.
Can we
Yeah.
get
He
to
must
that?
have won the ping pong.
We're gonna have to get to that paddle in a minute because it's
Hygiena, real quick, because I just thought of it, and I know it comes up later in the show because there was just a few of us. Do you remember The Realist?
Yes.
The rap,
Yes.
we had a driver that
Yes.
was a rap star, and he played our tape every time we got in his van, and all it
The
was
same
The Realist.
song. Yeah.
I'm the realist.
Really?
That's all it was. So we're just like, this is great, man.
Yeah.
Over there.
my favorite is still Mr. Alan Turner Ward.
He's here on
Really?
Facebook. I have him on Facebook. We got to try to get him on.
He's
Get it.
fabulous.
Because he has
was
all
the
the
one
dirt,
with the-
right?
I know.
Right?
Oh,
got
that'd be
the
nice.
Right? We should get him, Emily, and we should get the rest of them. Boom.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Then we're gonna start. Who was the best cook in the lair, and who cooked the most?
Hmm.
I don't remember.
Not it. I actually kind of think it was Hygiena because I think
Was
she was
it?
the only one that. Yeah, because I don't remember anyone else really cooking. But I
Yeah.
remember
I
me
made
and you.
spaghetti one night.
I
That's
cooked
all I
spaghetti.
had
I
spaghetti.
cooked the spaghetti, remember?
Yeah, we had spaghetti. I don't know. It was such weird hours. Like we would eat
Yeah.
sometimes
Right.
at 30
A lot
at
of
night.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
I like Pop Tarts. I'm telling you,
we
Pop
would
Tarts
be
is my
out
jam.
somewhere. Yeah. And Dan, I remember you would only eat white things.
Yes. How do you remember this? I sound
What's
racist, but I'm
going
not.
on
It-
here?
It's not white things. It was tan things because tan was for Dan. I had a lot of like food rhymes for me because I was a super picky eater. But the funny thing is, now this is hilarious. My partner now of 3 years is a gourmet chef, and so I eat everything now. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Like it's
Good.
like what? Yeah, I know. We went to like one place and they had like cow brains or like sweet bread. Frog legs, and I was like, oh my god, if people could see me now, they would never think. And all my friends are actually making fun of me in the chats, by the way, because what? Tan stinks. And Dan got called out for his food, a color, but yes. And I'm like, it's true. Whatever. But yeah, so I was super picky eater, so then they always had to like make me weird things, which is why I survived on Pop-Tarts. I was okay with
So Dan, are you a frosted man or unfrosted?
frosted. Frosted. Brown sugar, frosted. Oh,
Okay.
love it.
All
Like
right.
cinnamony sugar.
Yeah.
Done. I like that. Boop. Basura's back. Hi. You're good. All right. So I think we're ready for part 2. And this is the weird part where Stan talks to us about our characters. And I have notes on this later. So, okay. I think we all do, but you know, it'll be good. But for now, let's go ahead and back to part 2 of episode 2. And hopefully this will work. There we go. I think I have clicked the wrong button. Nope, wrong button. That was part 1 again, which is great. And I forgot to share it. So now you can actually just talk amongst yourselves for half a second. Hold on a minute. And there we go. All right. Now we're good. We're back to Limelight.
There we go.
What would you say your best superpower is?
I think the superpower is oh, give me 1 minute. It's
So let's share.
I have 3 different catchphrases. My first one is rock on. My next one is who says diamonds are a girl's best friend.
the confident. I have. Do you mean? Can I ask? Is it physical or mental? Are you talking about?
I'm looking for your character's superpowers.
Oh yeah. So okay. Let me explain. I'm so sorry about this. So
My last one is bling's my thing. I'm all about the gemstones.
Miss Limelight superpowers. She's very. I'm sorry.
That's a bit all over the place, dear. How about if you absorb the powers of the biggest heroes of film and TV? And perhaps you also have a nighttime vision that you've developed from sitting in darkened theaters.
Great.
I'm delighted.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Mitzvah seems to hang in the background a lot, but he really doesn't want to divulge a whole lot of information about who he is as a real person.
My dad passed on to me a rather large fortune, which has enabled me to live in a castle. I didn't want to go into that. Just because you came from a wealthy family doesn't mean you should be deprived the right to be treated like a normal person.
That is an interesting look.
I'm actually wearing super shorts underneath this.
No one takes a superhero seriously without his pants on. And what about your superpowers?
My powers are to use Star of David paddle to save the lives of children.
Here's my take. Your powers come from life itself. Your character is a Bruce Wayne, a philanthropic type who fights crime and possesses great wealth. Very good. Mazel tov.
L'chaim!
Parthenon.
My character has the Armor Guard, which is the gauntlet, and it contains 3 gemstones, the Echo Emerald, which gives me sonic powers, the Eye of Apollo, which gives me a protective shell, and the Muse's Moonstone, which allows me to cast illusions, and can kind of fly at a normal pace.
Well, that's a lot of powers. I would forget this thing about kind of flying.
Okay.
I was kind of a chubby kid. I was kind of lazy. I wasn't very fast. I couldn't jump very high.
Let's take some of your personal life and meld it with your character's powers.
All right.
You took all your anger from being a kid who was always being teased, and you channeled it into sculpting the body of a superhero.
Definitely.
You're driven to protect the underdog. All right, Diffuser, tell me your character's backstory.
I had a very hard time making friends. I was taken to a clinic. I became a very large child. I liked inventing things. I'm well over 350 pounds. I was in no condition to make it through a police academy.
Very interesting, Diffuser, but get to the point.
I love to talk. He called it as he saw it, and I was guilty as charged.
Here's my take. Your character's a loner, a brooder, a wound-up spring, ready to pop. You're also gonna get to the point whenever you speak.
Sorry I was so wordy.
Here's what I think. You have a highly evolved mind with the power of telekinesis.
Yes, sir.
Fighting grime and crime.
I want to make you a little more concerned with fighting crime. So your catchphrase will be, I fight crime and grime, in that order.
Okay.
I'd like to have you control the insect kingdom. You can summon them to fight evil at a moment's notice.
I'm a loner, and I went off as a drifter, Stan, and, roaming the streets with other misfits.
I'd like to know how much of that might be true.
It wouldn't be a whip snap without going through those things. And I'm emotional now because I look back and I'm proud of myself because I overcame a lot of things. I still can't believe I'm here. No one's just ever given me a chance. He gave me a chance.
I want to thank you. Now, I'd like you to take those street smarts and turn them into a superpower with a sixth sense that alerts you to trouble. I can tell you that I am honestly and deeply moved. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you all for allowing me to learn more about your superhero characters. Every legend begins with a memorable story, and today you can all truly say that you were born as superheroes.
That means a lot coming from you, sir.
As far as appearances go, you guys look like hell, and you're all gonna get new super suits. It's the final piece of your character development. I personally designed them for each of you. So head over to the super suit changing chamber.
All right. Hey, Stan Lee said it himself. We're heroes.
Excelsior!
Oh my God!
As far as appearances go, you guys look like hell, and you're all gonna get new super suits.
Oh my God.
Miss Limelight, I would know you anywhere. What do you think?
I love it. Oh my goodness.
You can distract the enemies with your mirror.
Oh my goodness. I love this. Oh. I feel like I'm like a superhero like Marilyn Monroe.
You are now a superhero.
I love it. Thank you. I'm like glitzy, flamboyant person, and that's what it showed. It looked amazing, and it was just great. I loved it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, what do you think of it, Hyperstrike?
Gotta be honest with you, Stan. Kind of missing my old costume.
You're missing your old one?
Yeah. You know, tights are never a good place to start for me. I don't know.
I appreciate your honesty, but I don't know that I agree. I personally designed that costume, and I think you do look more superhero-like, I've got to tell you. But why don't you live with it for a bit and see how you feel?
Could be. I mean, it's your choice in the end, Stan, for sure.
Oh, I can see you on the cover of a comic book now.
I hope so. That would be awesome. Yay!
I think you're going to stand out in your black and white. What do you think?
For the future!
Thank you. Oh my God.
You look like a real superheroine.
Whip snap. I'll whip you to unconsciousness and snap you back into reality.
Excellent, Whip Snap. Excellent.
No, I love boots. Are really cool.
Boots are very
Wow, look at the bottoms, huh?
But look at you.
That's really cool.
You look like a comic book page.
Yeah?
Bam!
I don't know what kind of comic books you've been reading.
I personally didn't have a very good reaction to his costume change. It looks fantastic. I don't know what he's clenching about.
I like this one.
I walked out and the guys were looking at me and, oh, you look good, Whip Snap. And I felt hot.
Well, Diffuser, how do you like it?
I'm ready to go out and fight some crime, sir.
I can throw you into any bit of danger, and I won't worry about it.
With this, I can take him down.
All right, thank you very much, Diffuser. I'm glad you're happy with this. Do you feel super heroic?
I feel super heroic. I'm Hygiena, and I fight crime and grime.
Well done.
I like it, sir. Yeah, and I'm glad I got a cape.
Gotta have a cape.
I know, every hero has to have a cape.
Evildoers, beware.
I'm Parthenon and rock on!
I think it's fantastic. Look at it.
That is a real superhero costume. Go fight on.
L'chaim!
She got a cape.
I feel like, especially with getting the costume tonight, that I'm fusing with Hygiena.
Why, hello, heroes. What do you think? Bling is my thing.
Hey, everybody. What do you think? Huh? What do you think? What do you think?
How could you complain about gold metallic boots? They're fantastic. And I think the superhero chicks are gonna flip over it. I certainly hope so.
Sorry to interrupt. Superheroes, I am extremely pleased with the work that we've done here tonight.
Me too, Mr. Lee.
But unfortunately, this is a competition. I've been watching your performance every step of the way. It's time to send someone home.
Forgot about that.
See you on the rooftop.
Well, it just bummed out my high.
I know.
Wow.
This is no longer a competition among other people. It's a competition among friends. We all want to win, but only one of us can win.
I would say that Mr. Mitzvah is on the chopping block. And you don't think he was fitting in the group, and that's the only reason I would put him up there.
Even though we had just got our costumes and everybody was full of emotions about that and excited and nervous, and then we have to go into the elimination.
I'm nervous about elimination only because I've been called up on the block already.
A lot of people, I don't think, realize that it's this serious. It's serious. It's serious.
Superheroes? This is especially difficult for me because standing before me, I see a true legion of superheroes. You all look great.
Thank you.
Now, these past few days, you've been tested mightily. You had your first confrontation with a real villain, Bee Sting. Most of you showed amazing courage in the face of thousands and thousands of bees. Mr. Mitzvah, you hurt your team by not being able to hit the buzzer because you didn't face your fears. You're part of a team, and you need to act like it. Hygiena,
Yes, sir.
you continue to impress me.
Thank you.
You managed to overcome your claustrophobia.
Let's just get out of here.
Well done.
Thank you.
Mindset. You are a smart man, but not necessarily wise. You might have thought you were being honest with Limelight,
I don't think you are dumb. I think it's a part that you're playing.
but you disregarded your teammates' feelings. Plus, your refusal to play
The next time someone makes a mistake, they'll be putting their team in grave danger.
literally hurt your teammates. Ms. Limelight. Well, you certainly look the part of a superheroine now. But when I asked you about your character's superpowers, you really had no idea.
Give me 1 minute. Let me explain. I'm so sorry.
I was disappointed. Hyperstrike.
Yes, sir.
You are a young man of contradictions. You showed tremendous poise with bees crawling all over you.
That's my second sting.
But that same maturity wasn't there when you got your new costume.
Kind of missing my old costume.
As a superhero, you need to adapt to change. But believe me, you look great.
First, I was just shocked. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Let me check this thing out. But like, the more I looked at it,
I think Stan was correct in everything he told me.
Okay. 3 of you will be asked to step forward and tell me why I should not send you home. Mr. Mitzvah, please step forward. Miss Limelight. Mindset. Ms. Limelight, why should I let you stay in the lair?
When you said you needed more courage from me, I was gonna bring more courage. And just saying that I wasn't terrified, that I was gonna be okay through the bees, through everything that I really would have been scared of and run away from before, it really was just in my head and I was able to do it. As far as being prepared today. I do tend to get excited. My mouth wasn't able to communicate with what I was thinking. I really did have it prepared, and I hope to get another chance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mindset. Why should you be allowed to stay in the Lair?
Sir, for me to spell a word incorrectly would be a lie. And if I have a choice between lying or facing a very slim chance of minor bodily harm, I think the choice for a hero is very clear.
You feel you made the right choice?
Absolutely, sir.
Interesting. Mr. Mitzvah, why should I keep you in the Lair?
For one thing, the blindfold device which I utilized to not let Bee Sting have her way with us was a valuable tool. It did not keep me from reaching the buzzer, so I didn't hurt my team. I helped it.
Thank you, superheroes. As always, this is a most difficult decision for me. Mr. Mitzvah, you're still not bonding with your teammates the way I would like. Look, you might have figured a way to complete the mission, but you didn't face your fears. And that's part of the journey while you're here in the Lair. Mindset. You obviously believe in your actions, but simply put, you just weren't a team player. Your bluntness hurt Limelight, and later, your ego stood in the way of everyone's success.
I will not play your games. That is how it is spelled.
You never consulted them and jeopardized their safety. Ms. Limelight, your pact with the diffuser heartened me.
You're not going to say, I'm afraid or I'm scared for 24 hours. Can you do that with me?
You really pushed yourself. However, you're here because I need you to take my tasks to heart. At this point in the competition, you should be able to articulate your superpowers. The person leaving the Lair tonight is... Mr. Mitzvah, Ms. Limelight, Mindset, the time has come. The person leaving the Lair tonight is... Mindset.
Sir, I will step down tonight, but I still do not feel I behaved wrongly. I believe in the courage of all my teammates, and I believe every one of them would be willing to sacrifice their own health for the greater good, which is truth, sir.
Mindset, being so headstrong, you put yourself ahead of your teammates. Now, this was true with Limelight.
I think it's a part that you're playing.
You don't know.
And against Bee Sting. Heroes know when to keep their ego in check for the greater good. Hard to say it, but it's true. I really want you to think about this. Your pride hurt you, but I do appreciate the things you said. Mindset, turn in your costume.
It's tough for me. I'm really gonna miss him. Mindset made a mistake, but he didn't see it that way, and I think that maybe showed that he wasn't as smart as he made himself out to be.
Feeling a little angry. I don't feel the right decision was made, and Stan got it wrong. I stood my ground. I stood for truth, and if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Mindset is gone because he didn't consider his team, thereby putting everyone at risk. Now, please meet me in the library. Superheroes. Now, a surprise for you. The final piece of your superhero suit.
Communicator watches.
It's a video communicator, so keeping in touch with you will be easier.
I was thrilled. I personally am a techno geek and kind of adds to my bling collection because bling is my thing.
Wow. Everyone needs a helping hand.
No. Now, get a good night's rest, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stan.
Hello.
Yes.
Stan Lee is back in the hero making business.
Well, I have some little surprises for Stan Lee and the Super Zeros.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's get some other heroes back on here. And there we go. And let me mute that. And there we go. That was episode number 2. Yay! Huzzah! That's always a fun episode because we got our new costumes and everything. So it's like, yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Diffuser is still on mute.
No, Diffuser, you're on mute. That's a you thing.
Sorry, I just like him now.
Well, I do talk a lot, so I need to keep the mute on because I just don't shut the up.
Well,
Right.
I think there was a lot of big feelings about the costumes.
There are, and there's a lot of comments in them too. So, yes, I think we should talk about them. All right. When you got yours, actually, let's go back to when we were talking to Stan, because I know most of us didn't really get enough screen time for that, in my opinion. Right? Does anybody else agree with this?
I only got like one sentence.
And we got we had a long
I
conversation.
took all of your spots.
Well, no, in real life, I got to talk to him for a long time, and it was so amazing. So on
Same.
the show, they barely showed me talking to him, but in real life, it was like really important and special.
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually argued with him, which is,
Ooh.
I know, where it's one of those things like, Stan's always right and he has great ideas. And I was like, no. And this is why.
Oh.
Yeah. Because he's like, tell me about you. And so I had my backstory all written out. Like I had 3 pages. I knew my stuff. And I was like, boop-a-da-boop-a-da-boop. And what do they focus on? I can kind of fly like a duck. And I was like, that's it. And I was like, no. Right. And then, but what Stan actually said to me is he's like, your quest is good, but I think that your power should be a shield and you're on a quest to find the sword that can break the shield. And I was like, no. I was like, why do you think that? And so we sat there and had a conversation about how his kind of like interpretation of my character, but I was like, but this is how I interpret my character. And in the end, he was like, okay, well, that makes total sense. And since you have such a good backstory, then you're fine. And none of it was shown. And I was like, oh, thank God, because like, I'm kind of glad that they didn't get me arguing with Stan. And I'm like, okay, we're good. So, yeah.
That would have been interesting, though. I would have liked to have seen that as a fan.
I don't know, because like,
you think they have hidden footage, Dan?
What is it?
I said, you think they have hidden footage of you?
Oh my God, I would love it if they could find that.
Love.
Who can we ask
hold
for all
all
that
the
footage?
I
That would
know.
be so cool.
Yeah.
We could ask Nash Entertainment, but I'm
The
like,
roof- The rooftop elimination scenes, there were some like really long conversations that were amazing.
Yes.
There really was Stan on the screen talking to us. And when all of us
Yeah.
were up on the blocks and we got to like plead our case, we got to talk for a long time.
Yeah.
It was really incredible.
Yeah.
and then they would just cut out the bad parts and cut out the good parts and just be like, here's what you said bad. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Now, since I was gone, did they go off screen like when you would argue your case? Like you'd go like, "Ooh, they had a good rebuttal. Hold on, and go off. And you're like freezing. Did they do that with you or no?
Not really, because I always think they would just listen to you and then Stan would be like, okay, and they would go to the next point because I think they were going to try to edit it later or something. But
Yeah.
Well, you know, Stan had an earpiece in the whole time, and the producers were telling him sometimes, you know, different rabbit trails to go down.
Yeah. But you could tell because he's always hilarious. Like Stan is so like witty and funny when he's not scripted. Yeah. And then when he tries to like read a script, he's like, "Meh, all right." But he's off the cuff, he's hilarious. And I'm like, ugh.
I don't know about y'all because I don't really remember what part of the whole costume thing was seen by other people, but for the second time, I threatened to quit and fly back to Texas.
I saw that.
But you had such a good reason. It was that fake badge. It was the plastic police badge, which you were pissed about.
Saw that.
Well, it was the plastic police badge. It was the sparkly glitter on the sleeve. It was Captain Night Flash's freaking costume.
Right. And then you and Hyperstrike
hit a pole.
Yeah.
And you and Hyperstrike couldn't pee.
Right? Yeah. Well, actually, somebody put that in the comments too, but like, I was just going to put this one because like, how long did it take people to get used to their new costumes? And like, there was a couple comments, like Nick wanted to know like how he liked them. And James wanted to see like, did we get to see them before we saw them on camera and stuff?
They put you in a room. You were blind. At least I was. I was blindfolded. Put it all on by feel with someone helping me.
Yep.
And then in the room, that little room was literally a real dressing room with a mirror, as I remember it. And ta-da! Take the blindfold off, and I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me! I'm not wearing this."
Same.
And they're like, "Well, you have to," and I'm like, "Oh no! Look, no, I don't."
Yeah. There's quite a few of us like that really did not like our costumes because I know Mindset hated his because Mindset had this giant like metal piece and they put him like in a fabric shoulder things. And then my favorite piece is that they gave him fake abs. Like he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And they gave him fake abs. And I was like, what are you
had
doing?
to sink a tap light into the foam. So they had to give him like foam pecs in a foam ab thing.
Yeah.
They could sink a tap light into it for his chest light.
I get it, but I'm like, oh my god. And like Mitzvah threw the biggest hissy fit and you never saw it on screen. At all.
No.
Because his original outfit looked like MC Hammer.
Mhm.
And I was like,
it did.
He brought his own makeover costume and like spray painted his. They were like really expensive designer shoes that he spray painted gold, and then they
and the jacket.
them.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah,
He did it. And then the rest of them, we kind of fixed ourselves. Because I know Braid and I were the two that could sew. And so we were trying to help other people. And we're like, we can fix this.
Yeah.
And we eventually like pissed off the costumers and they walked out the one day.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, what happened is they put you in this room and then they strip you down. And I was just wearing underwear at the time. Right. And they're like, here, put this on. But you can't do it because you're blindfolded. So I put this on. And then mine, I was one of the last ones out, but I was one of the first ones in because my outfit looked weird because the underwear didn't go with the outfit. I'm going to say this. Okay. So they slit my side skirt things and then they ran to the store. Not the store. Let me be correct in this. The one costumer ran to her house where she had a gold set of leggings from American Apparel where she brought them back and I had to put those on. But being in a room blindfolded whilst people are talking about your package is kind of weird. I know. And I'm like, you guys know I'm standing here, right? And I'm just like, what's going on? And it was just ridiculously humiliating.
Yes.
And that whole thing, like, I saw the colors when they were doing, like, moving around the blindfolds and stuff, so I knew they weren't my colors. And then I felt the costume on me, and I felt that I had, a full cape, and it drove me nuts, because my whole thing was my side cape, and I, as a costume designer, was really mad that they changed our costumes as much as they did. Because I thought,
Well,
but like,
Dan, you guys weren't there because I had already been eliminated, but I had to come and still get the costume change. And I actually think I was upstairs, and I had to wait till you went somewhere else. But anyway, I like my bright colors on mine, but I kind of still like the long thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to spandex in mine.
Well, like Hygiena's, I loved. Like, I loved your new costume. Like, it was great. Limelight, I loved hers. Whipsnap, I thought you looked great. Like, did you guys like yours?
I hated mine.
Oh yeah, Basura, I was getting you because yours made me mad.
Well, like my original costume, as you know, a costumer and the character and all that stuff, blah blah blah. My original bra was made out of inner tube rubber, which stuck to my skin, and the pants were made out of a rubber kind of like butt harness. That's hard to explain. With the pants connected to it, tucked into tactical boots. So when I was completely drenched in water, the pants were kind of heavy, but like my chest stayed in this rubber bra. The boots were good on the surface. So my makeover, they gave me booty shorts that were in my crack and uncomfortable.
And the big boots.
The boots were flat on the bottom, but super slippery. And I'm like size 11, 12 shoe, and they had trouble finding shoes my size. The bra was way too small and super padded, and it kept moving and coming off. And they actually had to put carpet tape, like double stick tape that you use to hold a carpet to the floor to keep my chest in the bra. And I still have scars like on my breasts from that tape. A lot of respect for costumers for TV shows. And I'm sure they were working with a short time frame and maybe a small budget. So if anyone's watching this, like I feel for them, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, but it was literally painful. And I was kind of pitched a fit, and they gave me leggings from American Apparel again. So I got to cover my legs, and I actually brought extra pairs of shoes because I knew they were going to get a makeover and have problems with shoes for my size 11, 12 narrow feet. So I got to wear some boots from home, blah, 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 and leggings. And I'm sorry to like bitch about sorry to complain about my costume. But in the backpack, I felt bad because they worked so hard on the backpack. But it looked very like suggestive, like a male body part with wings.
Yeah, it was. I just didn't understand your makeover because it was like a make down, and honestly, like it felt like that for your costume because your costume was so good as it was.
It was so good as well.
Yeah,
I mean that like totally a compliment because I think the thing is, season 1 didn't know what to expect. Season 2, we knew what to expect, so our costumes were better quality, and then they went over there and then they tried to make super quick costumes, but then it just, for me, it just was like boop down because like my big giant gauntlet that I made out of like leather and it lit up and changed colors and it had like a light in it. And they gave me 2 bracelets that they found at the dollar store.
Yeah.
And I was like,
after the show, I went on to make superhero costumes for other people. And I know sometimes they come at you and they're like, you have 2 days and like $100 to make this happen. And you're kind of like, what am I going to do? So as much as I didn't like my costume, I have to say, like, I don't know what the circumstances were for the costumers. And I appreciate their jobs and their work.
So the weird thing is I actually talked to one of the costumers at MegaCon because he came up to me. Yeah. And so he goes, you know, they only got 1 picture and it was super low quality of us. And it was mostly like just headshots of us and nothing else and our sizes. And they didn't know it. And they had 1 month to make all of our costumes. And I was like, what?
Typical.
Like, yeah. So like for my costume, mine was like the off the shoulder cape. So the thing that you didn't see is I could feel the cape was wrong. And then what they did is they put you inside of like the closing doors and then they take the blindfold off. And then within like a minute, like 30 seconds, they open the door and then you can see it. Right. And so they closed the door. I looked at it because they took the blindfold off and I looked down and went, hell no. And I switched the cape around to an off the shoulder cape, which is why it was like weird. And then in the next episode, you can see what we did because Basura and I fixed our costumes as best as we could. And because she was smart enough to bring a needle and we used
I brought a sewing kit.
And we used
duct tape and gaff tape.
Yeah, we used dental floss, and my cape to this day is still sewn with dental floss. Like, so you'll see like now it's an off the shoulder cape, and I used their like weird cuff as like a cape so it holds my 1 hand, and they let me keep my actual gauntlet, but then they let us spray paint it. Like Diffuser, didn't you get to keep some of your stuff and you had to spray paint yours? Right?
Yeah, basically, I wore the base bodysuit they gave me, and we took off all the silver stuff that was on the sleeves, and I just put all my tactical gear back on.
Yep.
You know, my tack vest, the boots they gave me were like these cheap combat boots that have been spray painted baby powder blue. and the gloves they gave me were baby blue, and so I just put some of my old tactical police gear back on over it. And because I mean, let's be honest, even when I was 38, I wasn't built like Hyperstrike.
Right.
You know, and that vest, that tactical vest, acts kind of like a girdle. So it kind of, straightened me out a little bit.
Yeah. So. Actually, well, let's bring up Hyperstrike real quick.
What I wondered was yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I wondered, do you think the producers anticipated this? Did they think everyone's gonna unite and not like their costumes? I always wondered that, because I always had kind of three things going in my mind. There was melody, right? There was, I know this is a show.
Yeah.
And then there was hygiene in my character. I never got lost in the show, or I always knew there was some decisions making. So I kept thinking, did they not think this through? Did they not think that did they think we were just going to love it and that was it? Or I wondered what they thought.
They did. This was tied in directly to our covers. Our comic book covers. They really thought we would love them, and they were hurt when we didn't, because Emily and some of the other producers I've worked with, because I worked with Stan afterwards, and I met some of them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, y'all were harsh."
The costumers literally walked off the set because I know I was arguing with her one time, and I'm like, "Look, this is not what we did. We're not in our characters. This is not in the spirit of our characters. These are downgrades." She's like, "Well, you guys can just costume yourself," and she walked off the set, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was really bad, surprisingly bad.
I was angry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Hyperstrike took the brunt of it on the TV show because he was the only one that they kept of hey, you didn't like your costume. And how we fixed his is we put his little sash around his neck thing, and then we just told him it was great because everyone wants to know how long did it take him to like the tights. I don't think he ever liked the tights, but he looked excellent in them.
He did, but let's defend him a little bit, because he was not as whiny about it as they make him out to be.
I would agree.
He was just as upset as the rest of us were. He was just as vocal as we were, but for whatever reason, that abstractness we talked about earlier with Braid, they just decided, okay, on this topic, we're going to screw with Hyperstrike.
Right.
But he really was not that whiny about it.
Yep. Because I think the main thing about him is he voiced his concerns once we were actually rolling, and the rest of us voiced our concerns at different other times.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
And I think that's
to come
really...
out. I literally refused to open those doors.
Yeah. And so...
I didn't want to get eliminated for rejecting a costume.
Yeah. Send me home.
Yeah, it was one of those things. And Hyperstrike, his main thing is because he did all his ninja moves, and so his he had martial arts pants and an open top, so he could actually do his stuff. And he was concerned that he couldn't do it because his tights actually had soles on the bottom of them, and he was slipping. And so I was like, this is a super valid concern for his thing, because even when we were doing stuff around the set, he was doing flips all the time.
Always, he was amazing.
Yeah, it was. He's the real deal. He's super fun. But that's why I felt bad about it for him. But eventually, he learned to love it, and he tied a little scarf around his neck, and he was good. Yes. I think we have a couple other questions. Nope. Some people liking tighter tights. Let me scroll backwards. Oh, you know what? We do have one quick question. They want to know more about Braid and your backstory. Dun 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 on your powers.
My backstory was that I was a stay-at-home mom that ended up getting special powers.
How did you get your powers?
Some of the scenes, and that's part of my costume change as well. When we first showed up, I had a nose ring. Basura, you had a nose ring. And then they said we only need one superhero with a nose ring. So I'm like, mine ain't real. I'll take mine out.
Oh, I didn't know they made you take it out.
Well, they said they didn't need two superheroes with a nose ring. So I'm like, okay, I got a lot of other things going on. So I took mine out. And then each braid was a different power depending on the color. I mean, Braid had so many powers that it was amazing.
I remember the one where it wrapped around and became a snorkel. That was my favorite.
One of the braids that come around becomes a snorkel. I can be underwater, breathe. Yeah.
Yep. So it was fun. I always liked it. I always thought it was fun because you had endless powers and it was good.
Yeah, and I had that little it was like a light up ball. You can see it in some of the ads they do, but it wasn't throughout the whole show, but for that, and it had little things like I would say something to it and then light up. Yeah.
Yes.
And I fight for children at all costs. Yes.
I know a lot of us were for kids, but then it was kind of got weirdly foreshadowed, and I was like, whatever. We do have this question as well, kind of question. I thought they were going to bring back Mindset as a villain, and can I tell you, I had the same thing because I was like,
I had the same thought.
Yeah, I think we talked about it, didn't we? Like when we were in the Lair?
Yeah.
Because the thing that most people don't see is like we had so much crazy theories of what was happening on the show.
Yeah,
like we should have
all
wrote
the
the
time.
show because our scenarios were better by far. And I love the producers and
Yeah.
they're great. But I'm like, this is what should have happened. When we left our clothes outside, they should have been stolen by villains. People should have been taking our powers. Like there should have been stuff happening. Like I wrote down all of our ideas in my book and I'm going through and I'm like, yeah, that's better. And I'm like, I always thought he should be a villain. Like I thought it'd been great.
Yeah.
You guys have anything?
I mean, there was the first season there was someone who became a villain, correct?
Yeah.
The Iron Enforcer.
Yeah. So but we might have been all thinking of that. But I thought maybe more of like a mole. Like he's the mole in the house. Like he's they're gonna bring him back and
I always thought that was Mitzvah.
maybe that he was just a question mark, Mitzvah. What is he doing there?
Yeah, like somebody else wrote that on here too. They're like, he's a question mark. And I'm like, he is a question mark because I don't even know.
Yeah.
We
people,
stayed into it, Mr. and I.
Yeah.
We had
he always fought me too because he always thought I was chatty. And I was always like, well, I find you annoying. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, wait, did you see this? Dylan says Mindset became a villain for the show on his own YouTube channel.
I wasn't going to say anything. But
that's right.
I
that
didn't
was my
even see
Mindset
that.
story. He reached out to me a month or two after our show
It's
ended
over. We're just talking.
and wanted to start his own villain channel and be a villain and wanted to know if I would help him. He had some scheme with YouTube and with some pager system or phone system or something. And he wanted to know if he could be my nemesis. And I'm like, sure. Now this is after we had been done filming, but the show hadn't aired yet. And so I was still, as you know, in disclosure agreement, we're all pretty restricted on what we could talk about, what we could say. And I'm like,
Right.
you're going to do nothing
until
the show's done.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you could do it this way. And I'm like, no. So.
What's his slogan? The future begins today.
I think so.
Dylan, do you know where he Mindset is? Because if you know Mindset, we couldn't find him for this broadcast. And
where is he?
Yeah, because if anybody knows him, get him. It's going to fun. But
We missed him. Where are you?
yes, somebody by the way said makes you so happy. They're happy. Like I'll just put it on the screen. There you go. So happy you're all here to visit the show, and please keep doing this. You're my quarantine heroes. Thank you, Nick. Yeah,
We love you, Nick.
he's great. Tom, by the way, wants to know: do we get any of our original pieces back for our costume?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have them in a drawer.
Yes, I still have all my stuff.
The original stuff, but I don't have any of the makeover stuff.
You don't have any of the makeover stuff?
I have all my
They didn't give me or let me keep any of it. I couldn't even keep the leggings. I was like, oh, I could use a pair of black leggings. And they were like, no. Can't have them.
So what they did is they took all mine back at the end of the show, but then when we went back for the viewing party, then they let me have it all back, and they're like, yeah, give it back to us. And I was like, no. And I kept it.
Aw, that's cool. I loved your costume.
Yeah.
It was like very Disney. Which I think at first you were like, whoa, this is really like Peter Pan. What is this? P like Peter, but I thought it was really cute and cool and kind of Disney and like it really suits you.
I grew to love it after I changed the cape and after I got my gauntlet back and I got my stuff back.
Right.
I would agree that I grew to love it, but that giant P in my chest got me so many comments when I was out at places. What does that P stand for? And I'm like,
perfect.
Dylan,
yep. I'm like,
perfect.
Perfect.
Dylan on here says he knows the location of Hyper Strike.
Oh, I know. Hyperstrike actually was on our group chat. And you know what's funny? Because everybody, another person asked for if we keep in contact with Mr. Mitzvah. And Mitzvah was actually included in the group chat and read all these, but he didn't show up. Same thing with Hyperstrike. Calling you out for it.
What about Limelight?
Next week. Limelight was actually supposed to show up, so I'm thinking maybe she'll come next week. So,
okay, yeah, she was chatting with us.
This is the first week out of 4, so they still got time.
Right.
Because by
I
the
miss
way,
all of you.
Right.
I enjoy all my time with y'all. I
See,
think it was very intense.
Me too.
Friendship building time. In fact, I went and stayed with Parthy, and
and I went to
out in
stay with
Orlando.
you. I know, because I visited you in Austin, because we went to your cool Halloween thing.
Yeah, we met you in Florida too. We
We
went.
did.
That's when you met Ella. Ella was little.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See,
It was a unique experience, and only us understand it.
Yep.
It was a unique time, and what you go through, and there's like the show that you guys see that's edited, and then there's the show that we lived.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
only kind of us understand that show that we lived. So it's like forever in my heart, a special place for
That's why
each
they're
and
my
one of
super
you.
friends. Wait, I'm gonna try it again.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but right, because you guys are like, it's one of those things. Like, when I talk to them, I don't actually call them by their real names because I don't really use them. Like, I don't think any of us do, because like for a month we didn't actually go by anything but our superhero names.
Right.
So we know each other as our heroes, and so we still talk to each other that way.
Yeah.
People still call me Parthy. I still call him Diffuser. It's fun. So it's good. By the way, do you guys know that I actually found out your names really quick because I looked at your luggage first day. I was like, I wrote it all down. I'm like, if this ever comes up, I have everybody's real names. Nah.
That's what I'm saying. We're like detective.
I was trying to do that the whole time because I didn't know what we could do and didn't do, and like, my mind was going like a mile a minute, like a murder mystery type thing, and so I was trying to decide what was good and what was not good. And I want to remind people about this. So this was the first one for episodes 1 and 2 today. And next week, same bat time, same bat channel, we're going to do episodes 3 and 4. And we're going to continue this. There's 8 episodes in total. So the next 4 weeks. So the next month, I hope you guys come back and join us because it will be a more super fun. So,
Yes.
Yay. Oh, you know what? We have a quick question for you too. Was there anyone in the group that we didn't get along with? Dun,
Mitzvah.
Mitzvah.
I think me and Mr. Mitzvah, we got into it heavily, especially when he didn't clean. And I think the tension was really me and Mr. Mitzvah. It got really verbal in the van.
Yeah. He and I argued all the time because he was just one of those people.
Yeah.
He just didn't like me, and I was okay with it. I was like,
Well, I'm not sure if he really gelled with anyone. Did he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he was there to gel or to have the experience of a friendships or experience. I don't know why he was there, but I would be surprised if someone that's missing said, "Yeah, he was like my best bud," which is okay. It just
He was nice
everything
to me, and
different.
Yeah.
Of course, he was nice to you, Priscilla.
Well, I have a little story. I don't know if how many of you guys know this. So, after the show, there were like things that we did for the show together, and we were sharing a taxi back because they would pick us up and we would work on stuff. Oh, hi. We were working on stuff, and then they would like have taxis to take us home. So I shared a taxi with Mitzvah, and he was being friendly, like, "Oh yeah, cool, fun, ha." And he's being dropped off at the NBC and SyFy Channel producer's house, and there was a car in the driveway in front of this huge gate for this huge house. And I looked in this car, and I'm like, "Is that Mike Tyson?" That's Mike Tyson. And Mr. Mitzvah was like, "Well, yeah, we're gonna go hang out." And I was, "What?"
Oh.
The taxi driver was kind of like, "No way." So I asked Mr. Mitzvah if I could ask for Mike Tyson's autograph or if that would be weird, and he's like, "No, go for it." So I got a little piece of paper, and I got out and went up to Mike Tyson, and I'm sorry, this is his voice. He was like,
I know you. You're the
That's hilarious.
And I was kind of like, oh my gosh, it's Mike Tyson, and that's really his voice, and like this is happening. So I got his autograph, and it was Mitzvah and these TV people and Mike Tyson are like, you want to come party with us? And I was like, no. No.
Every story I hear about him is weirder and weirder and weirder. Like his parties that he threw at his house, and I'm just I can't.
If I had my own car, I would have gone in to check it out, and then I could have left. But I didn't want to go party with Mike Tyson.
You didn't feel safe.
Oh.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
I could have made it to that party, but my kids were like little. I was gonna go. And Mr. Mitzvah, if you're watching, if you never, please call me. I will try to show up now. One of my
I would totally go to Mitzvah's house. This was like some NBC Hollywood Hills producer's house that I didn't know who they were. And I didn't have a way to get home because the taxi driver was just gonna like drop me there, and I'm like, no, I should go home.
Yeah,
Smart
choice.
That was a smart choice.
Yeah, we have something weird. Okay, right.
Anybody seen Asia?
In the comments. So in the comments, Miss Limelight has been watching the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? And she couldn't get in.
Right now.
Right. And she's like, yeah, I was going to try to join, but I couldn't. So I'm like, what?
Limelight, my baby girl loves you. You got to come next week.
So Dan, you have a week to get her technology figured out.
I'll get her figured out. We'll make her come next week, and it'll be good. But yeah, we'll make sure, Trish, we love you.
We love you, Trish.
Limelight. And we'll make sure we get it all scheduled out for next week. But yeah, but she says, she's sorry, but it's okay. We'll figure it out.
And Dan, I just want to say thank you for putting this all together.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Super props, man.
No, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys showing up, and I'm glad everybody tuned in and like got to share this with us again because it's been 13 years. I know, 13 years.
Wow.
I know.
My girlfriend Deanna keeps saying, "God, you look so young." I'm like, hey.
My mom in the comments said the same thing, and I was like, ugh. People are calling me out. It's the beard, it's fine. But yes. But everybody, join us next week at the same time, same channel, and we can watch episodes 3 and 4, and hopefully we'll get everybody else figured out, and we'll have more heroes joining us as well. All right, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.